Hey, yo, welcome to the show. I am your host, Heel Harry. To the left of me is Tyson,
Let me talk to you.
and we are going to just jump right into it. How was your week? See, I didn't ask you
It
offline,
was a bit.
so it would make sense now.
It was a busy week.
Oh,
Let
yeah?
me lay it down. So let me lay down the last I don't know 3 days.
Okay.
Watch Raw. Watch SmackDown. Watch the Bray Wyatt documentary. Watch the Roman Reigns documentary. Watch WCW Sold Out 1997, which we'll be reviewing later tonight. Watch Night 1 of WrestleMania. Watch NXT Stand and Deliver. So I've been nothing but wrestling over the last 3 days.
It's kind of overwhelming, isn't it?
It is, but it's WrestleMania week, so
All right. It's
this
to be
is
expected.
it's the Super Bowl of what we do, as they say.
Well, how was the NXT show?
It's okay.
Just okay?
Yeah, there were people who liked it more, but they were invested in everything. I was just watching it as a I don't even know who these people are.
Liked it more than
But
you?
yeah,
Okay.
but I will say that Oba Mbaku guy, Oba Femi, he looks like the real deal.
Was that the North American guy?
Yeah,
I saw Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin are still the tag champs.
yeah, which is weird because he's supposed to be getting called up soon, probably Monday, or officially called up.
And I saw Dragunov wrestled some guy I've never heard of.
Yeah, Tony D. Hey, Tony D, how you doing? He's like a mob guy.
Oh, okay.
It's a cheesy gimmick, but at
Oh, it
least it's
sounds
a gimmick.
cheesy. Well, do you want to start with I guess the Bray Wyatt documentary?
Yeah, we could start there.
Okay.
I didn't
And
really take any notes.
I didn't either, so why don't you lead us? Hold us by the hand. Tell us about Bray.
Well, again, I didn't really take any notes. I just watched it. Um, I just got my takeaway from it was that he was a good mind in the business.
Mhm.
I noticed that he was losing steam in his character. They were going to take him off TV. They even said at one point, "We've got nothing for you." So he goes and reinvents his character, and then that's pretty much why he kept reinventing himself,
Mhm.
which is I don't know. He put a lot of care into it then in that case.
Yeah, and I like how that kind of alluded to the fact that because he took ownership of his stuff, that it kind of gave the impression that he was hard to work with. So
Yeah.
it kind of explained his first release. I also
Yeah,
like that.
he cared too much.
Yeah, and he was also dealing with some shit too. But I like that Bo Dallas was a big part of it too, so you can kind of hear from him. Now,
Yeah, that was good.
there's a whole bunch of people that said that he had a great mind and he was very creative and stuff, but not a whole lot of people said anything about his wrestling
Cares about his wrestling.
because he's a fucking wrestler.
Oh, here we go. Here we
Oh, here
go.
we go. Oh, here we go. Well, why would we want the wrestler to wrestle? Golly gee.
Yeah, why not? Why would we want to have someone make you feel stuff and tell stories?
The bell still has to ring. That's what Triple H said. That's why the motherfucker's gone.
Well, I don't think it was because of that.
Well, it was
Apparently,
started
it
to
was
be
because
because
of
of
that
that.
thing.
It was started to be because of that, because the motherfucker was bringing back the Fiend again. Remember, he's oh, the Fiend's dead. Oh no, he had a new Fiend.
Yeah,
So I mean, eh.
but he wasn't gone at that point.
No, but he was off TV. He had that illness, COVID.
Yeah, that thing. There was one part that stuck out to me though.
Yeah.
Finn Balor. He said, "Oh, I would get to the, I would go backstage and he's practicing his lines, and I just wish that I had that much dedication to the character."
Hmm.
It's like, really, really. That's like saying, imagine you're like an NFL player. Oh yeah, when I get there, he's either on the practice field or he's lifting weights or studying the playbook. I just wish I had that care. Well, you're also a football player. Maybe you should care that much. Like, why are you just watching someone outwork you and saying, I just wish I could be that like that,
What
but
that
I don't
doesn't
really
matter.
care that much.
That doesn't matter in the NFL. All that matters is their press conferences and what they say. What they do on the field doesn't. Who cares about that? I don't want them to make me feel in the press conferences.
Well, that's what Patrick Mahomes does that.
Mm, does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
or his brother does. Taylor Swift does it too. But yeah, it was like, golly, man. I just thinking like, oh yeah, this is my colleague that does the same thing that I do, but he's working 10 times harder than me.
Yeah.
And then that's how you get like Ricochet.
What'd you think of Hogan?
I mean, he didn't have a. I don't know why he was in the documentary at
Right?
all, but
At all?
I guess it kind of made sense because it was all the legends talking about Bray Wyatt. And then I thought about it. I was like, did he even like cross paths with Bray Wyatt?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. They may have been at one WrestleMania together.
Passed him in the hallway once. Yo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need on that dock, brother.
But I thought it was funny because when they were talking about when he passed away, and it got all emotional, and then they were talking about, oh, I remember where I was, and I got the phone call. I was hoping that they were cutting to Hogan. Oh, remember, brother, when I got the phone call? Bray was my friend. He was my best friend, brother.
Funny enough, he was in the Roman doc too.
Of course he was.
It's like, yep, gotta keep asking Hogan. Even Flair was in that one though. But they're asking legends about what Roman is doing. This,
Mhm.
on the other hand, they're talking about him being creative and helping the business, and yeah, you just having like a walking by him one day is not enough to be telling stories about him.
Right. I don't know, man. I thought he stuck out like a sore thumb, though.
Yeah, he did. I was like, I was thinking, I was like, I don't know, like one moment they were on screen together, but I guess they gotta use him somewhere.
Well, I am glad we got to at least see the Eater of the Worlds. And I thought Undertaker did a good job narrating it.
Yeah, he did good.
Well, I kind of
And
wish he would have
see,
left out the even I was at WrestleMania.
I was just gonna say, and see, he had that encounter with Bray Wyatt
Yeah,
multiple times, so he has something to say about him, as opposed to Hogan, who hasn't. But overall, I think it was a pretty good documentary. It got hard for me at some points, but
did it?
yeah,
Was.
I know.
It didn't. The emotional part kind of got me off guard because it was kind of a happy-go-lucky documentary for the most part. They were really celebrating him, and yeah, then they just started talking about the day he died. That's when like everybody just IRS, man. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, he was a mess.
Yes, understandably so. But yeah, that was a good post McMahon documentary, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really tell. I
I
don't
could.
know. It felt like it was kind of the same for what I
Some of
would
the
see.
edits were just kind of weird. Like when they had Corey Graves do his little eyebrow raise.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, we're doing a documentary on on a guy that passed away. Can you not be a little whatever you are, Corey?
That's true.
I don't know. It's a nitpick though. Well, Raw also happened in Brooklyn, New York,
Sure did.
and it started off with The Rock. Of course, they replayed The Rock beating the shit out of Cody last week, and The Rock says that he made the boy bleed. He took his little head and slammed it against the bus, and he split it wide open. Then he took the blood on The Rock's hands and smeared it on Mama Rhodes' belt. Only thing missing on that belt is the sweet, sweet tears of Mama Rhodes. The Rock said he did what he said he was going to do, and the Cody crybabies were pissed that their hero bled. But The Rock just laughed because they're grown adults crying about the whooping he gave Cody Rhodes. Like, you're grown men. The Rock plays clips of creepy parents posting videos of their crying children. It's just weird to me.
That he posted it or they posted it?
That they posted it. Like your child is crying. Oh, let's post a video of that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's content these days.
Crying children.
Well, what they were crying for,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the content for them.
I will say the little girl saying that Cody died, that actually melted my icy black heart just a little bit. He died. He killed him.
Like,
Rock
yeah,
says
from her perspective, that was like, this little girl thinks he
he's
killed.
dead. He ain't
No, he
coming
just
back.
killed someone.
Rock says those reactions made him stop in his tracks, and it even breaks his heart. And he tells the creep parents to put those crying kids in front of the TV right now, because Uncle Rock is going to drop some gospel on them. So there are moments when a man's got to do what a man's got to do. There are moments in life when people stick their nose in business it doesn't belong. And then there are moments in life when people talk shit when they shouldn't be talking shit. And that's exactly what Cody did. So there are moments in life when The Rock has to beat that punk ass down all over again. Do you feel that, Brooklyn? You're feeling the mana, because he had to say mana. Because right now, wrestling is cool. Ratings have skyrocketed. We've set a Raw attendance record. It's all because of The Rock. And finally, blood was shed. Finally, we're 5 ways away from WrestleMania. Finally, The Rock has come back to Brooklyn. But The Rock didn't come alone. So then Roman comes out with the bloodline. And I guess they didn't get rid of Roman's stupid CGI thing.
No, they need that.
And The Rock wears pants, fancy shoes, and flamboyant vests. Roman wears hoodies and t-shirts.
It
Roman
says
says,
family first.
yes. Roman says it's family above all. and he's on Raw to acknowledge his family. The crowd starts chanting yeet. Roman stops to say, no yeet. And Roman thanks Rock for making WrestleMania the easiest night of his life. We have a tag team match to make sure that the title match has bloodline rules. But not only that, but you made Cody bleed on top of that. And it's not that I needed you to do that, but it felt good to see. Cody's not a champion, he's a politician. When we made this cool again in 2020, Cody was somewhere else doing nothing. Then he saw what the tribal chief was doing, and we allowed him back. But this is our mountain. We run this business. And on Sunday, it'll never be more crystal clear. And then Rollins interrupts. He comes in through the crowd. He says he's no dummy. He isn't walking into an ambush. And if the bloodline wants Rollins, they have to come into the stands and fight them himself. And the whole city of Brooklyn. Keep in mind the whole city of Brooklyn was just slobbing on that bloodline Rock cock like there was no tomorrow.
Of course.
So I think Rollins would, I think he would be pleasantly surprised in the fact that Brooklyn would not have his back. They might sing a stupid little song and get all into that, but when push comes to shove, Rock bitch slaps Rollins, Brooklyn's dispersing. They're letting him do it.
And chanting for him.
So Rollins says that they crossed the line last week, and the time for talk is over. So he's ready to fight. And not just 5 days from now, he wants to fight tonight. Rollins says, here's what I'm thinking. Monday night, biggest WrestleMania of all time, biggest main event of all time is what Brooklyn deserves. And if they're here because of you, put your money where your mouth is, Rock. Tonight, Seth Rollins versus the final boss. Brooklyn loses their shit. Rollins says The Rock is a bitch, so Roman can come get it if he's growing a set. Then Rollins lets The Rock and Roman decide who's going to get the honor of facing him in the main event. Rollins says, you can even name the stipulation. First blood, bloodline rules, you name it. So now Rollins is starting to sound desperate. He's starting to sound like that guy. Oh, we can go anywhere. We can go to the library. We can go get some ice cream. Wherever you want to go. I don't care. Just please let me touch your pussy.
Yeah.
So Rock says,
begging for it. Yeah.
Rock says, you saw what we did to Cody. You don't want any part of that. But we always have a plan. And he kind of steps aside. And Solo, who hasn't won a match since Crown Jewel, steps up to the plate. And he tells Rollins he's fighting him instead of The Rock or Roman. So Rollins says Solo has the biggest balls in the bloodline and accepts. But The Rock says, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's bloodline rules, though. And then Seth acts all shocked and concerned, even though he just fucking said that they could pick any stipulation that they wanted. He even said bloodline rules. That was on the table by Seth.
Yeah, but the condition was fighting The Rock or Roman.
How
what did you think was going to happen anyway?
I expected them to laugh at him. Like, we're going to wrestle you? Come on.
Well, I'm saying if he wrestled one of them bloodline rules, what did you think was going to happen anyway? They were just going to attack him.
I don't know. I just thought it was silly. And if you're willing to fight Roman or Rock in bloodline rules, why would you give two shits about wrestling Solo under bloodline rules?
I don't know. I just think he was trying to lure them into a match, and then, then Solo stepped up and was like, well, first of all, I've already faced Solo so many times. Maybe I haven't, but, we know where the Solo thing goes.
Right. I just don't think it makes any sense to put on your bitch face after you just said, I'll take you on anyway. Any way you want. You pick it. And then not only do you have to face the lesser member of the bloodline, they pick a stipulation that you suggested. I don't know. So Roman leaves Raw later. He's going to write Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech. and
Oh yeah, I forgot to add that into the things that I watched this weekend.
the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't know why.
How was that? Might as well get that out of the way.
I don't know. I guess it was good. You know, I'm just not a big in anything. I'm not a big like Hall of Fame, just like recap your career type thing.
Yeah.
But it was on, and I was like, oh, whatever. I was doing something else. I was like, oh, just let it run. The roommate was watching it, so
Okay.
I was like, oh, you know, I would have to like really be trying to get away from it at this point. So just go like sit in the bathroom for 2 hours.
Well, the only thing I would watch it for would be the Heyman piece.
Yeah, that was good. He did mention Brock Lesnar on TV,
Oh, good. Good for
so
him.
there's that. I think he said Vince McMahon's name too,
Good for him.
and then, but he said he's a Triple Eight, or no, I'm sorry, he's a Paul Levesque guy. That's what he said.
He said Vince McMahon's name, and then it went black.
No,
Hmm.
he it didn't even bleep out or anything.
That's weird.
It just went right through.
Well, Jay Uso later says that he has Rollins back, so that's comforting. And after that, Rhea Ripley is interviewed by Ariel Helwani, who I guess interviewed everybody in the WWE over the past week. And Seth's husband
Yeah, he
ruined it.
did a. He had like his MMA hour, which had WWE wrestlers on it. Yeah, he had CM Punk, which that one,
Yeah.
set the world on fire. And then he had Rhea Ripley and he had Cody Rhodes, I believe. I think that was it. Great interview. That guy is, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Well, he has some good questions. I guess he was doing the journalist thing. He was asking questions that like our buddy Stephen Fall would never ask.
Yeah.
Stephen Fall's too busy worried about who Taylor Swift's going to fight at WrestleMania.
He does do a good job of kind of putting them at ease, whoever he's interviewing. So, and he's done it a while. It's just he's not my cup of tea.
Well, I don't know anything else about him other than that, and he did a good job.
He also had that interview with Tony Khan that he wouldn't answer any question for.
Oh yeah, I was like, "Why are you in here if you didn't?"
Right?
not gonna
Why'd you
answer
agree to
anything?"
this shit, you dumb
Yeah.
fuck? Yeah, Seth's husband ruined the interview, and then I stopped watching.
Actually, unfortunately, I saw it live, so yeah, it was just a recap of what happened.
Okay. Judgment Day beat DIY and New Day. I wrote why. It was Dominic or was it Priest?
It was 4v4. So
Oh,
yeah,
was it?
Judgment Day versus
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And later, Escobar's group comes to say hi, but the Judgment Day's pissed off because Dom, who was standing there and didn't know that Escobar came in, was coming. And Ripley's pissed off at Dominic for lack of communication, and Dominic wants to play darts with Escobar's group.
Yeah, Dominic might be defecting over to the Legato. He's starting to, he's getting that Mexican heritage around him, and now he's like, "What do I need you for, Ripley? You gringo?" He's gonna start saying that. Remember I said, what if they did an angle where he cheated on Rhea? What about the chick there, Electra Lopez? He could cheat with her. I don't
He
know where
could.
that leads because we saw
Isn't
her
that
wrestle, and
Escobar's
I think
pitch?
that's the last time she should do that.
Well, after that, Gable trains Sami Zayn, and they're studying film. They exercise intensely. It's mostly cardio based. After an intense workout, Sammy's panning. He has no energy left. He's on his hands and knees. And Gable just creeps up behind him and locks on a sleeper hold. And Sammy screams at Gable. He's like, "What the fuck? What was that, Chad?" And they play sappy homoerotic music in the background. And Gable tells Sammy that Gunther wouldn't care less if Sammy's tired or hurt. And he tells him to run the drill again. And Sammy says that he's out of his fucking mind, letting Gable run him into the ground just a week before WrestleMania. And Sammy doesn't think Gable believes in him. Gable says that Sammy's good enough to beat Gunther, but that last year it was when he had the hunger. Now he doesn't. He wants to know what's holding Sammy back. And Sammy says he's afraid because he's a pussy. And no one believes he can beat Gunther. And Gable wants to prove everyone wrong together. And Sammy goes back to training really hard. Gable tosses a towel at Sammy to wipe himself off. And Sammy just tosses that shit right back at him. And Gable later tries to sleeper hold Sammy again, and Sammy uses his training to judo flip Gable. And they both point at each other knowingly and hug like a couple of queers.
Mm. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. But yeah, it was a good segment there.
And Sammy lost to Bronson Reed again. Gunther came out. Looks like Sammy's going to win. And Gunther's dragging out Gable's lifeless corpse. And Sammy goes to check on Gable. Then Gunther beats the fuck out of Sammy. Of course, he chopped the shit out of Sammy. And the way he literally manhandled him was great. And the 2 chops at the end was just fucking brutal. Rock should have taken notes on how to give a proper ass whooping. I should just say that.
Yeah.
And Gunther shouts at Sammy to stop dreaming because he's his reality. And Gunther stands on Sammy while holding the title. And then Sammy wills himself back up because he's written to do so. And Gunther cracks Sammy in the face with the title. And it's important to note, or at least I thought so at the time, that the only interaction Gunther had with Gable is when he drug him out. No words or actions were exchanged after. Like I would have thought Gunther would have talked shit to Gable too.
I mean, yeah. From what I remember, wasn't Gable out the whole time?
No, he was kind of squirming and doing that thing where they just roll around from side to side.
Okay. But this was very. We don't see this a lot out of the Ring General.
Nope. It was awesome.
So they're telling the story that maybe he's a little concerned.
Gunther continues to be the best thing that the WWE has. That's under 50.
Okay.
Uso helped Jay Uso helped Lil Wayne promote his new single, I guess. And I guess we'll hear it at WrestleMania or something, is what I wrote.
We didn't.
We didn't. Maxine Duty was given a win, and still no one cares.
Yeah, Candice LeRae, she had the match won for Indy, but Indy didn't want to cheat, and it cost her the match. So Indy needs to step her game up. That's what she needs to do.
Drew McIntyre had a cool segment. He's standing over a casket, and there's a CM Punk voiceover. So clearly he's burying CM Punk's WrestleMania moment. McIntyre says, "Look in my eyes. What do you see? CM Punk has no match in Philly. It was stupid, but it was funny.
What about last week when he did uh the Eminem reference?
The Stan,
Yeah.
where he basically sang the whole song.
Yeah. This is your truly this is your biggest fan, truly yours, Phil.
Yeah.
McIntyre, fan of the hip hop, I guess. I mean, that was that second one was, what was it, Bone Thugs? Like that's deep rap right there.
What
You
second
know,
one?
the look in my eyes, what do you see?
That's his. That's CM Punk's theme song.
You're right. Well, they got that. And Living Color probably got that from Bone Thugs then.
Okay. Nice save.
I mean, that is Bone Thugs lyrics too, so you see where I can get confused there.
what? What's Bone Thugs?
It's the same. That's the chorus.
Looking. Oh, they did. Did they sample Living Color?
I guess so.
Oh, I knew they did Phil Collins. I didn't know they did Living Color. The McIntyre says the world missed out on seeing an old, out of shape has-been main event WrestleMania, but his withered old body broke down worse than it did in the UFC. And now we're left with a guy who saw Jared Leto as Joker and built his entire personality off of him. Seth Cringe Lord Rollins. Seth already has one foot in the grave. He has a match against Rock and Roman and still thinks he can beat me. Rollins deserves all the beatings he has coming to him. All the pain and suffering and misery caused you because you have you deserve all the beatings you have coming to you and all the pain and suffering and misery because you have begged me for it. The casket is going to close on your championship reign. So he's burning two motherfuckers. He's burning two motherfuckers here. So that's Punk and Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And McIntyre is going to take the broken down workhorse that is Seth Rollins. He's going to put him down once and for all. This was an A+, everything.
Yep. This was quite the segment. McIntyre, he's primed and ready to just pick up the scraps here, and then he's going to be carrying the show.
And he can.
Yep.
So after that, Ricochet beat Ivar for some reason. And then later, Priest is pissed off that their impotent group hasn't handled Ricochet yet. McTurd says they're totally going to take care of him at the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Dom says if that doesn't work, Andrade is going to handle Ricochet. And Andrade comes in, seems kind of non-committal about joining. He says, but he agrees to handle their business. And Rhea, having seen too many Mexicans in the same room together, decides to leave in disgust. And Priest is pissed that Escobar's Mexicans are using his darts.
There was a lot of people in that little clubhouse.
Yes.
Like, golly, what is I know you people are used to fitting in small a lot of people in small places, but gosh.
I skipped the bit with Seth's husband. Fuck her.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, but her and Rhea Ripley had a brawl to hype up their WrestleMania match. So Ripley comes out. Pierce is like, please, this is the biggest match in WrestleMania, or one of the biggest matches in WrestleMania. I don't want to ruin it. 7 nights before, or whatever, 5 nights before WrestleMania. So he brings out the security, and then Rhea Ripley fights through the security to get to Becky, and then they have their little brawl.
Sounds riveting.
Yeah.
Damage Control had a thing. Dakota Kai says they're beating the Bees at WrestleMania 40. Or no, she said WrestleMania XL. And WrestleMania XL is the biggest of all time. And it doesn't get better. It doesn't get bigger than Damage Control at WrestleMania XL. And they're all at Raw to see if anyone has what it takes to prove them wrong. And sure enough, they're going to beat Stark and Baszler and some other bitch later.
Which I had questions about.
About what?
Weren't they just beating up Tegan Knox a few weeks ago?
I think so. It doesn't matter.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is Kari was tasty looking.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter, but it was just like, weren't you just breaking her arm though? And now she's like, and also, aren't you? I don't know what Zoe and Shayna are. I don't know. I think they're supposed to be faces, but they don't get any reaction.
Tag team. They're just another tag team. They don't mean anything.
True.
So we get Seth Rollins versus Solo Sikoa. Bloodline rules. And on the way to the ring, the lady asks Rollins why he accepted this match. And Rollins says that he has only one gear, and that's pedal to the metal. Although I'm not a car guy, but I don't think that's a gear.
If it's a manual, I think it is. I don't know.
Pedal to the metal.
He means full speed.
I don't think that's a gear either. Well, anyway, Rollins says that he always has a plan B. And then he runs into McIntyre sitting on some equipment crates with a wicked smile on his face. And then Rollins tells McIntyre that he ain't dead yet. And McIntyre says, "Yet!" And it was pretty interesting that the guy who claims to have the most important title allows a guy who hasn't won a match this year to come out last on his show. But he did. Rollins ends up powerbombing Solo through a table. And Jimmy came out with a super kick. Jimmy and Jay end up fighting. And Rock whoops Jay's ass. Like they did that thing where Jay and Jimmy, they slowly fight to the back. And then once they get to the entrance ramp, you see Jay pop back out. And he's done. Whatever Rock did to him, it neutralized him for good. And then Rock walks to the ring like Roman's cousin with severe Tourette's. And he stands over Rollins, still cursing. And suddenly a smile creeps on Seth's face. Wrestling has more than one royal family. Out comes Cody in street clothes with a bandage on his forehead. And Cody and Rollins beat up The Rock. He finally gets his hands on Dwayne. And Cody and Rollins take The Rock to the announce table. Looks like Cody's got a rock bottom. The Rock through the table. And then out comes Roman. And Rock and Roman proceed to beat the living hell out of Cody and Seth. The crowd starts chanting CM Punk, even though, like, if this were real, like, seriously, what was Punk going to do?
Nothing. And he's hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has a torn tricep.
Yeah.
Unless he had, like, Lex Luger surgery. His ass needs to just stay wherever it is. So Rollins gets Superman punched, and Cody gets speared. And then Rock and Roman take turns whooping the living piss out of Cody and Seth with the Rock's. Well, it's not Rock's weightlifting belt. It's Cody's weightlifting belt. And then Roman gets the most of the licks in at the time I wrote that. Because Roman was just going nuts on both of them. And The Rock at one point holds Rollins in like an ankle lock position so he can't twist away out of Roman's belt strike, which is just cold. So then Rock goes nuts with the belt too. And then Rock and Roman hold up their belts in victory. Roman has his belt and The Rock has the belt he just whipped the shit out of his two opponents with. And then The Rock whoops Cody one more time before Raw goes off air. And I guess the only thing we have lingering still is, did Solo win?
He didn't.
Okay. Can't even win. Can't even win Bloodline rules.
Yeah, I mean,
But that was Raw.
I was like, it really matter, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But the match never ended.
No,
and it's no DQ, so it's technically still going on.
Yeah, that was a pretty good go home show for Raw. I was excited. I mean, obviously it was The Rock, and I thought The Rock just overshadowed everybody. He continues to look like a man amongst children,
as the final boss should.
True. But yeah, good Raw. Aside from all the stuff with the chicks.
Well, that's to be expected, I guess. But yeah, it was a good show. I didn't expect anything of it, as you know, as I said last week. I'm pretty sure they're just going to be playing video packages and just get us to WrestleMania. But no, they actually tried to do stuff. So
they want more on my side, because I said they need action. We got action. It was great.
Yep.
Well, let's go to Friday for SmackDown. See how that holds up. And we're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're just down the road from the WrestleMania site. I think we're in the basketball stadium.
Yeah, I think so.
And we start off with the Kevin Owens show. And Randy Orton is the guest. Logan Paul comes out to talk shit from the site of WrestleMania. Owens and Orton go to confront Paul in the empty stadium. And Waller and Theory, who were hiding under the ring, seemingly were late to jumping Orton and Owens, I guess. I don't know what the fuck that was all about.
Yeah, they had a plan and they mistimed it.
Okay. Well, up next is the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And Omos is back. It's good for him.
Not only that, he was over.
Well, yeah, he's a big dude. He should be over.
They were like, yeah, they were chanting hard for Omos. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Well, I noticed that the Inbreed brothers eliminated Indus Sher. You know, the only legitimate tag team the WWE has. So that was special.
Yeah.
No, Indus Sher.
Oh.
Not those pasty little pathetic mutton chopped having fuckers.
Well, you better hope there's not.
I'm talking about the big, muscular, beast Indian dudes led by the modern Maharaja.
Well, you better hope there's not budget cuts after Mania.
Yeah, they're going to be in AEW.
Wrestling in front of 600 people.
Yeah, no one will see them. They'll really disappear. At least they'll be well paid.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Omos and the Inbreed brothers eliminate each other. So thanks for coming, Omos. Thankfully, McTurd gets eliminated, or he eliminates Ricochet. And Tozawa eliminates McTurd. And he's left with Ivar and Reed and Otis. And Ivar ends up tossing Tozawa into Otis to the outside of the ring. And Otis is supposed to catch Tozawa, but Tozawa just goes clear over Otis's head. And he takes a nasty tumble onto the floor.
Yeah. And, just before that, I was like, I don't know. I got the feeling that Tozawa was going to win this battle royal.
Yeah.
Because, he was like the lone man in front of everybody else was meat, and it was just him. And I was like, if he wins this, I don't ever want to hear the Andre Memorial Battle Royal ever again.
Right.
Like this will be the death of it.
Well, I did notice that Tozawa landed one way, but when it was all said and done, like the impact made him bounce, and he actually flipped another way. It was quite remarkable.
Yeah, Otis actually helped him accidentally. Hitting Otis's body actually helped him a little bit.
Well, Bronson Reed won, and I'm sure this will elevate him to superstardom now.
Yep. At least for the next 2 weeks.
Karrion Kross has a video package promo thing, and he confirms his and Lashley's group are going to be for Mania. It's a Philadelphia street fight. Just want to say I told you.
What do you mean you told me? This was great. Wait,
Lashley,
what did you tell me?
that they were going to have a WrestleMania match.
Oh, okay.
And no, it's still shit.
No, this was great.
It's terrible.
He did the thing that I always do. Maybe that's why I liked it. Oh, what are you gonna do? Cry about it? He did that.
Mm.
You know, I always do that to the geeks in our comments.
Oh, you do it to me too.
I don't do it to you. I do it
Yeah.
to the geeks. Are you a geek? You're not a geek. Only geeks get it.
I'll say, Tyson, we don't have this video out yet. Will you cry about it?
Okay. I'm a monster. Like that
He
one
beats
guy.
me.
We'll do it live.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly. Fuck it. That's how you know he's really pissed off. He just says fuck it with no context.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Well, Lashley's group had a promo thing later. The woman did most of the talking, which means her and Scarlett will try to have a WrestleMania moment. Her and Scarlett will try to have a WrestleMania moment.
Well, Scarlett is a WrestleMania moment in herself. Hopefully, it's not a physical thing that's happening here.
Oh, it will be.
I know. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they're gonna. You saw the tandem moonsaults off the ladders and shit.
I mean, it is a street fight, so
yep,
them just standing there as valets would be kind of ridiculous.
I guess, but no, what's gonna, because they're not gonna be a part of the match though. That's the thing. So what's gonna happen is everybody that's a part of the match is gonna be on the ground or whatever, and then the two chicks are gonna get in the middle of the ring, and it's gonna be and they're gonna do something stupid that will be forgotten about the next night.
Yeah. Maybe after something slips out though.
Well, I mean, they're all Well, yeah, they'll blur that out though.
Oh yeah, they are quick to that.
Yeah, they don't.
Dang it, they don't give us nothing.
Nope. Fuck you, WWE.
And just enjoy the talent.
AEW shows tits and ass all the time. Paul.
Funny thing to skip ahead a little bit.
Yep.
We were watching, and we'll be reviewing it tonight. The sold out WCW sold out, and they were doing that NWO Miss NWO thing. I was like, can you imagine that in 2024? Like they would get canceled so hard.
Well, it would be
you're
different.
just objectifying and sexifying women. We're much more than that, Ronda Rousey.
Well, if they did that today, that all the women would be in pantsuits and shit, and they'd all be CEOs,
boss bitches.
Yeah,
they're
that's what every woman is a boss.
Well, actually, it's the culture's switching a little bit. Now there's this thing called trad wives. That's TRAD.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So now that's making a comeback, and the boss bitches are hating on, oh, you know what? If you were really a traditional wife, you wouldn't be having time to cook cereal from scratch.
Well,
Like, you're just hating because I'm taken care of. That's all that is.
that and chicks don't want or chicks are realizing that dudes don't want women with bigger dicks than they have.
That too. Yeah, I couldn't be dating someone who made more money than me. That'd be a
I,
problem.
I don't care about that. I just don't want anybody. Oh, yeah, I tell you what to do.
I
Nah,
know.
bitch.
If she makes more money, she makes the rules.
No, come on.
She's
You're
like,
come on.
that's how it is.
You gotta be that guy that just sits on the couch and then lets the woman do all the work, and then she comes home and you have the audacity to talk to her like shit. Make me dinner.
Yeah. Oh, I closed $1 million today. Well,
Did you close the oven?
oh, you pat her on the head. Oh, that's good, babe. But you know what? My fucking food's not made.
See, you just gotta have the right mindset.
Yeah.
Well, Logan Paul said some shit. And it's revealed that Waller and Theory can't find Owens and Orton at the WrestleMania stadium. That's because Orton and Owens never left, so they attack and beat Paul's ass. All right. Escobar's chick beat Ray's chick. And then someone attacked Dragon Lee before the match. Andrade and Dom were there also. Dom and Escobar attack Ray after the match. Escobar starts shoving Andrade for no reason, telling him to whoop on Ray. And then Dom grabs Andrade's arm for no reason. So Andrade's had enough of this and kicks both of their asses. And then he sides with the other Mexicans. And it's revealed later that Dragon Lee isn't medically cleared from WrestleMania, and Andrade is taking his spot. And it'd be something if Andrade fucks Ray over, is what I wrote.
Well, unfortunately, I missed the mark on maybe they're doing it as a slower build. So Dragon Lee was taken out, and who was there conveniently first? Carlito. And then he
Didn't
walks
seem
in.
very cool.
He walks in. Oh, did you see what happened? Andrade or Dragon Lee's not gonna be able to make Mania. I guess I can. Oh yeah, we already found a partner. I'm gonna have Andrade as my partner. That's a good idea. Why would it be me? Of course,
Right.
the person who's in the group. So yeah, I thought it was gonna happen at Mania, but it didn't happen then.
Well, I thought it'd be kind of interesting if Andrade fucks Ray over and then Dom and Escobar and Andrade form a group.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Instead, we got the reunite or they. Oh, boy, I don't know if I'm gonna get that word. Andrade and Zelina Vega reunited. There we go.
Oh, good.
Reignition. Would that have been it?
Reignited.
Yeah. Andrade and Zelina Vega, and she jumped in his arms for the hug with their legs wrapped around him. And I bet you Malachi Black was watching them like, bitch. And then Charlotte Flair was also watching and like, bitch.
Yeah. Well, the Triple B's had a moment to point at the WrestleMania sign. The only thing noteworthy was Jade's entrance.
Yeah, they're gonna win at WrestleMania, as we know.
Yep.
Good luck, Damage Control.
Right. Like, you talk a good game, but you know you ain't winning this. Bate and his lesbian beat Waller in Theory. Judgment Day beat them down post-match.
Yep.
And Bailey and Io had a video package. It was decent. I just wish they'd use music with testosterone instead of like that sappy chick music. It's like they were playing Sarah McLachlan. Huh?
I said, well, they are chicks.
Well, I know that, but you can play like L7 or something with a little bit more balls than just sappy, folky chick music. LA Knight got some mic time. He's beating Styles at Mania, and everybody's going to be saying LA Knight. Yeah.
Yep. I think he swallowed his gum during the promo too. Oddly enough.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of skimmed it.
Yeah, he was saying something and then he like made a surprise face and paused for a second
Oh, good.
because he was chewing gum. And then Corey Graves said, "That's why you don't cut promos chewing gum." So yeah,
Good on Corey for calling that out.
Yeah.
Nothing else by the graves. So Jey Uso beat Solo. Jimmy interfered. Solo was about to spike Jey. Then Rollins and Cody came out running because they desperately need a W. And Rollins, he just got emasculated at the end of Raw, but he still comes out with furs. And Cody whips Jimmy and Solo with his weightlifting belt. Solo runs away, but Jey catches Jimmy as he's running, and then he throws him back into the ring. Jimmy eats a crossroads. Rollins whips Jimmy with the weightlifting belt, and then Jey hits Jimmy with an Uso splash. And Cody gets on the mic and he says he's slapping the final boss and dethroning Roman Reigns. And then when one good story ends, an even better one begins. And that was our go home SmackDown.
And we're on to WrestleMania.
We are on to WrestleMania. And we're still in Philly and Eagles Stadium, though.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
Are we shilling?
We didn't chill the last segment.
All right.
So we are on our way to 500 subscribers. Guys. We're like 52 subscribers away from 500. I think we can get there by Money in the Bank. I think we can get there by what's the next paper? Backlash.
We can get there by night too.
We might be again. Hey, if we put out a timely short, we could. But anyway, we're on our way to 500. Help us get there. Only you can help us get there by hitting the like button and the subscribe button. Not the like button necessarily, but the subscribe button for sure. And then you can follow us on all the other social medias. We got TikTok. We got Twitch. We got X or Twitter. And we're also on Spotify. Shout out to the audio only listeners. And that's it. Oh, and if you are interested in buying any WrestleMania gear, you can use our affiliate link, which will be in the description next to the like button. There we go.
All right. So we're in Eagles Stadium for night one of WrestleMania. And Coco Lovelock sings the national anthem. Cool. And
Didn't know who that was, so
I didn't either. And Triple H comes out and does the introductions, and it's historic because this is the first WrestleMania without Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yep.
And Seth's husband and Rhea Ripley jerk the curtain, and it's for the important women's title. And Ripley was certainly amped for her entrance. They had the live band.
Yeah, something Whitehead, or I don't know.
Yeah.
White cloth.
I thought Seth's husband looked like a beer bottle. I don't know what.
I think she had scripts from her book.
Yeah.
Becoming the Man, or not your, I don't know the name of it. Not Your Average Man. Or maybe it's Not Your Average Girl. I don't know. By the way, another thing to show. If you want the Becky Lynch book, you can use our Audible affiliate link, and that will get you that book essentially for free. So there you go. That'll also be in the description, and don't do it today because it's not there yet.
So I thought it was dumb that it took Ripley 3 riptides and that prison bitch hold to beat Seth's husband.
Well, this is the Man, after all. He's
Mm.
fighting the Man.
Well, the man looked like a boy compared to Ripley. I did like Ripley's look. The longer hair suits her.
Yeah, she instantly got the long hair out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it was an okay match, I'll say. It was an okay match. But I think I did prefer her match with Charlotte last year to
Oh
this
yeah,
match.
totally.
But yeah, right winner. And it's
There
just
wasn't really
another.
anything special about it. It just kind of
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, there wasn't. They didn't really like do, anything. It's basically a glorified Raw match.
Yeah. Well, that's
Like when it's WrestleMania, you got to pull out stuff, but they didn't. The entrance was like the only thing that they pulled out.
a glorified Raw seems to be the theme this evening. If I'm being honest, Pretty Deadly had a vignette after all that. They're pissed off about missing WrestleMania. They shit on the teams in the ladder match, and then they say they're waiting for the winners.
I didn't see that. That's weird. I may have gotten a commercial during that.
Well, up next is the undisputed tag team ladder match thing. DIY is leaning really heavily on the DX stick. Priest and Balor wore masks. And then Waller and Theory ended up winning the SmackDown titles. Awesome Truth won the Raw titles. So you have this weak ass tag division. What what is a good way to just put a boost into this weak ass tag division? Split it off into two brands again.
Yeah, instead of making it one division.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I guess we still don't know where it's going. I mean,
It's
we
not
only
going anywhere. It's the tag belts.
we only found out about it like I think they mentioned it on Raw. Oh, both titles have to be um you got to get both titles for the match to be over. Oh, so you're potentially splitting the titles now.
And that's what they did.
So
And it makes
maybe
no sense.
they'll have to fight I don't know. Yeah,
There's
they're
not
probably just going to keep it as but cuz we're close to possibly a brand split. I'm sorry, a draft.
mm,
So maybe they're going to unify it once and for like actually unify it. Like one, I don't know. I'm reaching here. I'm trying to not say that now both Raw and SmackDown's divisions are dead. I'm
they
trying
are.
not to say that, but
I thought they were dead before that.
I'm looking for positives here.
You had Judgment Day. That was your tag team champions. They were a fucking joke. Embry brothers were hot for a minute, then they lost, and now they're just inserted into the mix. Everybody else they're basically comedy acts.
Maybe that's where they're going. Maybe this was all to get the Creeds the belt. Because I don't see Miz and the Truth, Miz and Truth keeping it for a while. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if they make it out of Raw as champions. Like when they defend it, it's pretty much going to be it for
That's
them.
it.
If I had a guess,
You
so
never know.
whether
They might
that's
have a
going to be,
lengthy run.
I don't think so. They're too much comedy.
They're all
But it's good for Truth, I guess, that he got his finally got a WrestleMania moment. Apparently, that was his first win at WrestleMania, so he
pretty
finally got a moment.
pretty deadly's a comedy act. Waller and Theory are a comedy act. The Lesbian and Tyler Bate are a comedy act.
To you,
The Inbreed Brothers are a comedy act.
To you.
They're all comedy acts. DIY,
To you.
New Day.
See, you're mentioning some credible tag teams here.
Okay.
That tag division's gonna be banging, as the kids would say.
Well, this is also, you're also the one that said that Karrion Kross is going to do gangbusters with his new group.
Yeah, he's starting to. I said I was out, but I'm starting to come back around on him.
Well, you're back
Let's
on the
let
denial
me
train.
hear. Let me hear the reaction tomorrow.
Okay.
If he gets a reaction, we might be on to something.
Well, Dominic and Escobar had their match with Andrade and Ray. Ray was doing an Eagles theme, and Dom was doing an effeminate La Parca. And Ray's team won because Eagles players interfered, and I thought it was stupid. And this was a glorified SmackDown match.
Yeah, I didn't like the finish. The fact that the baby faces got help from the and those two players. It was Kelsey and some other guy, which was not Travis Kelsey, which I thought it was. And then I was like, oh, that boy's gonna be marking out Stephen Fall, because if Travis Kelsey was there, you know who else was gonna be there?
Mm.
That boy was gonna lose his mind.
Well, Travis Kelsey doesn't make any sense because he's a chief. Jason Kelsey, on the other hand, was an Eagle.
I don't know, but it's the Kelseys. It's his brother. And they're also like, I don't know, one of the biggest. I think they're like one or two as far as the biggest podcast in sports right now. Well, they were. I mean, we can say football, but LeBron started a podcast, so it's over for sports podcasts. Yeah, everybody's gonna be looking up to that one.
That's sad.
Yeah. And you know what? The best part of that?
What?
It's for the nerds. It's
What?
for the nerds. The
What nerd?
broadcast. Like,
Oh,
like there's no, like our our podcasts and stuff. We go, oh yeah, is John Cena the greatest ever? And then that's what they do in like the basketball podcast. This is why LeBron's better than Jordan, or this is why Kevin Durant deserves GOAT conversation. And there's none of that on the LeBron podcast. It's like straight up X's and O's talk. Like, oh yeah, if you pick the picker and then you you go out to the bubble, the bubble screen, and then you pick the picker and then you wrap around.
it's a vehicle for LeBron to try to sound smart.
Well, numbers don't lie. Only opinions do.
Hmm?
I said numbers don't lie. Only opinions do.
What does numbers have to do with him trying to sound intelligent?
Because he has the numbers.
Okay. So a lot of people are interested in hearing him pretend to sound intelligent.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
Well,
I think they're already over 2 million or something. So
that's just a shame.
that's on their third podcast. By the way, we're almost at 500, so that's comparison there. But they're doing it on a much more different level than we are. They have producers.
Yeah, people want to listen to LeBron's fake ass over ours. That's sad.
Yeah, they have producers. They got they don't have a whiteboard yet. They're still trying to get that figured out.
Mm.
But they have animations.
Oh, you mean they didn't just turn on the camera and just go?
They did for episode 1. For episode 1, they did.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, they turned the camera on so much that they were talking beforehand, And then all of a sudden, JJ Redick was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're recording already."
Oh, they did that.
They're just like sitting down having wine, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're recording already." And then they get into it. So
LeBron's
yes,
such a fucking fag.
they just turn the camera on. I know we lost all our viewers, but that's all I had to talk about it.
I'm gonna sip some wine.
I don't even. What were we talking about that?
We were talking about Jason and
Oh
Jason
yeah,
Kelsey, and
they
then
got the
spawn into LeBron, and then yeah.
they got the second most popular podcast. That's why we got there.
Yeah.
For sports personalities.
Now, if you had a real basketball player like Jordan doing a podcast, that'd be one thing.
I wish that did happen.
Or Kobe.
Jordan start a podcast so they can like run the numbers each week. Oh, LeBron won this week. Oh, Jordan won this week. Just to further that whole thing.
Does he still own a team?
I don't know.
Well, Jay versus Jimmy Uso happened, and this is just the third time real brothers have faced each other at WrestleMania.
Oh, throwing slide at Kane and the Undertaker.
Yeah, bullshit. It was a decent video package, even though it wasn't as good as Taker and Kane's. Like, nobody was lit on fire, for one.
Yeah.
And Lil Wayne raps out Jay. And like we said, Lil Wayne said on SmackDown he was debuting a new single, but he just did something from the Carter 3. Was it a Millie?
Yep.
And Jimmy should have got Birdman to walk him out. I think that would have been appropriate.
Or like, I guess they can't do Kanye.
Yeah, I guess not. No. Is Kanye and Lil Wayne feuding?
No. Or maybe. So they did a thing. Samantha Irvin said the greatest rapper of all time.
Uh-huh.
She said the greatest rapper of all time, Lil Wayne. So, to combat that, they could have brought out like Kanye or Eminem to. No, this is actually the greatest rapper of all time, and then I don't know, just to
I
further
think
the Yeet versus no Yeet.
that's what I'm saying. They could have done the Birdman, and because they have real beef.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they sued each other.
Hmm.
They started off kissing on the lips, and then they ended up going to court.
It turned bad.
Yeah, I think like a couple of years ago, Lil Wayne's tour bus got shot up. And it was insinuated that it was Birdman.
Golly, we gotta do that.
Allegedly.
They're like those old ass men. They gotta be
This was a
shooting up
long time
still.
ago. Yeah, well, a long time ago.
Thought we moved past that as a community, shooting up stuff. Oh, we gotta go clock this up. Like, come on, man, grow up. Baby, you're like 50. You're shooting up people. What's wrong with you? Get out of the ghetto.
Did you see his appearance on The Breakfast Club?
No.
He comes in with like a bunch of people and he just sits down. He's like, "You need to put some respect on my name." And he just runs down the host, telling them that they just need to respect him. And then he walks out. He had like 10 guys with him. I can't imagine traveling like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, look at Ice Cube, look at Snoop Dogg. They were rappers, hard rappers. They were hardest. They got out. They're doing big things now outside of shooting people up.
Yeah.
Like, why are we still doing this? 50-year-old baby.
He's underrated as a rapper too.
He is.
I like him a lot. I like his the album he did with Lil Wayne. Stoned with my daddy, stoned with my daddy. Stone with my daddy.
I like the part where he's like, where Lil Wayne, he's like, "Show me my opponents," and then he crumbles up the paper. Yeah,
Yeah, good shit. I like that album. I need to re-listen to that.
that song's on my playlist.
The Stunting with My Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
I I, I was playing that when I take my dog out. I'll jam with that. I pretend that my dog raps that in his head because I'm weird. Anyway, I counted 16 super kicks. I think you said 15, or you lost count at 15.
Yeah, I lost count at 15. When they started just like straight going kick for kick, I lost count.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This could have been something, but this just seemed like just a match. I hate when they do the trading punches thing. It's stupid. They did the trading super kicks thing, which was even dumber. The part where Jimmy held his hands up in surrender. Jay looks stupid because obviously Jimmy was fucking with him, and he did. Jay ended up winning with a spear and an Uso splash. And I thought this was the weakest brother versus brother match, real or not. And Dude Wipes was an appropriate sponsor.
I knew people were not going to like the match because they didn't do all the flips and the dives.
It
But
wasn't
what
even
did they
that.
do? They told you a story. If you paid attention to the match, it was a story. What was the story? Jimmy Uso, he would hit Jay, and Jay would, like, it was basically they were even because they're twins.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just like the vibe of it all was like they're just like fighting on a playground.
I don't know. When
And
they're
you had the moments where like Jimmy had the upper hand, and then Jay's like laughing at him. He's like, "Come on, keep coming," and then he'd hit him, and then Jay would hit back, and then they keep doing it, and then yeah, the super kicks. Like they were telling a story of, I'm we're even, we're twins, we're married to each other.
I don't know, when they were kicking each other in the head. Like Jimmy kicks Jay in the head. Jay looks like he's stunned, but then he kicks Jimmy in the head. And then Jay just looks at Jimmy knowingly instead of like, you just got fucking kicked in the head. I don't know.
But yeah, I knew there was going to be some. Oh, that match sucked because it was such a slower paced match that was, yeah,
There wasn't even that.
telling
They
you the
just did
story.
stuff. I mean,
I don't
you
know.
may think, yeah,
I just pictured like two brothers fighting in their living room. And it's,
that's cool. But yeah, but just when they started trading just moves, and they completely, anytime they wrestle, they just destroy the super kick.
well, we knew that was going to happen.
True.
So I think there was more super kicks than punches. No, there's probably more punches.
Yeah, there's actually is a surprisingly few amount of super kicks. I thought that was basically going to be the match.
Yeah. Super kick counter.
Well, after that, they revealed that Cody's bus sold out, has vodka decals all over it, and Cody is officially in the building.
Yeah, someone I had gotten the impression that was Cody's whiskey, but I guess not.
No, I don't. It's vodka.
Cody has a vodka.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. I was at the. By the way, I don't drink like, you know, crazy, but I was at the liquor store today and I saw this banana whiskey.
Ew.
or it was like peanut butter banana whiskey or something like that. I was
Ew.
like, oh wow, might want to. I was like, but what am I gonna do? Drink it like you just drink it straight up? And then they also had a peanut butter and jelly.
Ugh.
It's like you're just supposed to like take it straight to that dome.
The
I think
peanut
they
butter
call
just
that.
does not sound good at all.
Well, I like peanut butter.
I do too, but not with whiskey. And it's
Yeah,
probably
take it.
artificial peanut butter flavor too. So it's like fake peanut butter and whiskey. No, thank you.
I didn't get it, but
Yeah.
I thought about it.
I think you dodged a bullet. Well, the Bees faced the Jays. Not Jade narrated a video package in front of a ghetto green screen. There was that cheap looking green screen, and she had the glowy outline. Reminded me of like 1990s BET. And Damage Control made her life a living hell. She recruited Naomi and Jade. And Damage Control's entrance was really cool. The geishas and the CGI cherry blossoms were a good visual. That was an appropriate use of CGI. Kari, of course, looked tasty.
So did Kai. Although she's not back on the list.
You know,
She's up there.
I was about to say something, but her face is just, I don't know. She's got a man face.
Well, that's part of why I took her off the list. Not the man face thing. I don't see a man there. But her face, she has something on her face that I had to take her off the list.
Yeah.
A stupid nose piercing thing.
Yeah, that is stupid. The Bees entrance was dumb. The music with the platform that they came down on was cool. But then they each had to get their fucking entrance music in. And they should have just used Jade's. Hers is the best in the company. Fucking suck it up and just use one theme song. It was a mess.
Well, I didn't know what the hell they were doing anyway.
They had a grand entrance.
No, I'm saying I don't know what that entrance was. I don't know what they were doing with the entrance.
I think they were just coming
whatever they were
down.
referencing.
I don't think they were referencing anything. I just think they came down epically on the platform.
Oh.
That would be my guess. Not Jay was probably like, oh, it'd be really cool. Let's get on a platform and just be lowered slowly. And then we can each squeeze our music in for 5 seconds.
Well, they got to get their own shit in.
They don't have to. No,
they're
that's
not
my
one
point.
person.
Damage Control came out with one theme song, and they all have separate theme songs. They don't even use the Damage Control theme song individually.
Well, that's different. Damage Control, they all look alike. They're all one person. These are 3 strong black women. They each at least half. These are 3 individually strong black women.
And 1.5. Because Naomi is not strong.
She's not. She is kind of the one out of the place there.
Yeah.
When they were all flexing at the end of the match.
Yeah, I know. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing, Naomi?
Naomi, you better go get in the.
If this is going to be a thing,
like if this is going to be a constant thing, you better get in the gym.
Yeah. The Bees won, of course. And Jade, of course, made the biggest splash and got the pin. I thought she looked great. They didn't have her do a whole lot from what I saw. I mean, obviously, I didn't watch this match in its entirety, but looks like she got the tag. She got the rock tag.
Yeah, she got the hot tag.
She kicked ass, and they drop kicked her.
Let's just say it was virtually a squash.
Yeah.
From when she got in there. Like from the time she got in the ring, it was pretty much a squash match at that point.
Yeah, and I think just visually, she's. I think it's her and Ripley. if we were just going eye test. That's who I would build my division around.
That's the money match.
Mm. Well, not necessarily the money match, but those are the two individuals I would build my division around. Like all roads would lead to either Ripley or Cargill.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll have to be that way soon. I was gonna say, that Bianca Jade match was gonna be something, but I would even say it was gonna be next year's WrestleMania match. But I'm kind of getting the feeling that WWE is going to be pushing this narrative with these three,
That
and
they're strong and powerful.
the strong power. They said it on the kickoff show. Oh, that's why I said it. By the way,
Oh,
these are three strong, powerful black women, CEOs or boss bitches. They didn't say that, but like, oh. When I heard that, I was like, oh. The
yep.
propaganda is about to start.
That's what happens when you go to Netflix. Told you. You got Becky saying that all the lady wrestlers should have equal pay to the dudes.
Speaking of which,
So Candice LeRae needs to get Roman Reigns money, according to Becky Lynch.
yeah. But speaking of which, you know what actually happened for the first time, like ever?
What?
There was a basketball game that drew like 13 million 13 million viewers, which was the highest rated basketball game for college basketball. College basketball.
Okay.
It actually even beat the NBA Finals last year. So that actually happened. Oh, I'm missing a part. It was a women's basketball game.
Okay.
So women's.
So they got one.
Yeah, they just had the highest
So
rated
one
basketball
one
game
women's event in the entire history of women's events gets a good rating.
that outdrew. You hear what I said? They outdrew the
Yeah,
men's.
one time.
They outdrew the
My
men. They have
my
the highest number now.
my dick's not gonna get hard because of that.
I'm saying they have the highest number.
Well, that tells me that the men suck.
Now it tells you. It should tell you that the propaganda is starting.
Mm.
The women's propaganda. Oh, everybody's starting to pump up women's stuff. There was
They've been pumping up that shit. I'm sorry, it's just instead of pimping it, why don't you just make it better?
well, I guess it's better now.
Okay.
There's this chick, Caitlin Clark, that everybody's sucking her dick. Oh, she's the next. She's better. She's Steph Curry. She's the future of NBA. Well, not NBA, but she's the future of basketball.
Mm.
Well, if that's the future, that ain't good.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Because we're kind of talking really heavy basketball this podcast.
We are.
I'm gonna not.
I hate basketball too.
We'll keep going.
All right.
We
Do we
lost
have
our
to?
viewers.
Do we have any viewers?
We did.
Oh. Sammy and Gunther, Intercontinental Championship. Video package is great. Gunther said the Intercontinental title traveled 40 years across the world just to end up on his shoulder, and it's never going anywhere. And Sammy hugs and kisses his family before the match. The baby talk he had with his kid drove me crazy. I wanted to punch him. He also kissed his son on the lips, which I'm sure won't affect his lifestyle when he's older. And Sammy
At
tells
that
his...
age, you kiss on the lips still.
I don't know. Something about... I never kissed my daddy on the lips. I'll just say that. I don't think I've ever kissed... I've never kissed another man on the lips, ever.
Another little side thing. You know what I saw? I saw someone hand feed their dog a dog. They hand fed him, and then put that same hand in their mouth, like right after.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Like what the?
It's kind of yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Sammy tells his mom to keep his son in the back because he doesn't want him to see what's about to happen to him. And then Sammy runs into Gable, who tells Sammy he's on his own tonight because he owes Gable a favor. Sammy also runs into Owens, who slaps him in the face and screams, "Go do it." And you know, for 600 plus days, they really could have given Gunther a grand entrance.
Well, I guess it depends on who comes up with that whole thing.
I guess.
I mean, really, there was no like, I don't know, over the top entrances.
There's
This,
one.
I mean, what the Rhea?
No, I was going to say The Rock.
That was
He had a
that's just
ring of fire and he,
okay.
and the lightning and the shit. And I mean, on average, I think they all kind of sucked. I don't know what's going on with WrestleMania entrances because they sucked last year too.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's supposed to be the talent because hearing that Bray Wyatt documentary, it seems like talent have more control over their characters than you would think.
Right.
Like you would think they just like show up to work Monday or whatever. Here's what you're doing today. I know some of them have that, but I don't know. You get to a point where you have a little bit of freedom, then your character should. I don't know. You
I
should
guess it
be
would depend.
putting interest in your character.
If you're if you're Tozawa, you're just showing up to work.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter how much effort you put into your character. Like what you're gonna do is what you're gonna do. But when you're like in Bray Wyatt or Randy Orton or CM Punk, when you're at that level or in that position, I think putting your creative energy is worthwhile.
yeah.
And I also think they should have given Gunther a goddamn grand entrance. 600 fucking days.
All right.
They beat the hell out of each other, as you would expect. And they also showed a live feed of Germany, who is obviously rooting for Gunther, even though he's Austrian. And I don't understand what the point of doing a grapevine submission thing is if they just get out of it all the fucking time. Like Gunther sleeper hold. Ripley did the grapevine to her prison bitch lock thing on Seth's husband. Like if you're going to do grapevine and
Well,
it
her
not be
grapevine
effective.
didn't make sense because the effectiveness of the hold is when
Yeah.
she's standing.
Well, I
Like when
was
she went to the ground, then that took the effectiveness out of it.
you're focusing on the wrong part of what I'm talking about. But I agree with you. Yes.
I guess okay, you're just saying why do it anyway?
Yeah. Because they get out of it. Like the grapevine. Remember when Kurt Angle would grapevine the ankle lock? That's when you knew that okay, that's it.
Yeah,
Now
the
when
match
they
was
do it,
over at that point.
now when they do it, it's just they do it because it's something cool to look at until they escape and do some more shit. Sammy, of course, kicks out of the powerbomb. Gunther does a hell of a kick to Sammy, and Gunther laughs at Sammy's mom. And Gunther kicked
That's
out of it.
actually his wife.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
She was old.
That's the same lady that was backstage with him.
Yeah, that was his mom.
No, it's his wife.
She's like 50.
That's his wife.
Okay.
Because the funny thing I was thinking, I was like, he's doing this for his wife. But if that's what I was looking at, I don't know how motivated I would be.
Right. I wouldn't do shit.
Like, how is she motivating him to get
I
back?
wouldn't confront the mailman for her. What are you talking about?
But it's in the eye of the beholder, of course.
He knocked her up, and
And
he's
also,
just doing the responsible thing.
they're Canadian, so how good can you get up there?
I don't know. There's some Canadians. I tell you, go look on Pornhub, but
I can't.
yeah. Gunther kicked out. Gunther kicked out of a hell of a kicked out from nowhere. Sammy fucking kicks out of back-to-back power bombs. I wrote, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Gunther starts inexplicably talking shit to Sammy's mom wife. And then Gunther starts stomping on Sammy's head. Sammy's drooling. He wants the ref to call off the match. Of course, the ref doesn't. Gunther hits another power bomb, and the crowd chants one more time. I thought that was funny. Gunther does 2 splashes, and Sammy fucking fights back up. And Sammy hits a stupid gay kick and gets the pin. So we have yet another streak the retards in WWE Creative ruined for fucking nobody. And we're going to have fun watching Sami Zayn do to the IC title what he did to the tag titles. And that's absolutely goddamn nothing. Bravo.
Yeah. But on the other hand, thought they did tell a good story there.
It was a great story. It was a great match. Except the part where Gunther just inexplicably just starts talking shit to Sammy's mom wife. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's when I texted you. Oh, this doesn't look good for Gunther. When he's just like inexplicably he hits a power move and then goes talking shit.
Yeah,
Like,
Gunther's
this ain't good.
He's been the most cunning, most like cerebral guy on the roster for 600 fucking days. And now all of a sudden he's just gonna, I'm gonna talk shit to this homely woman. Doesn't make any sense to me. They just fucking what a waste. What a waste. Just so Sammy could have a fucking moment. And Sammy doesn't need a moment. And there was no logical like build to it. It was just the spotlight method. Only this time the spotlight was right. And now Sammy and Gable are probably gonna have a thing. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna do a triple threat. Gunther's gonna want his belt back, or maybe he's gonna go to the heavyweight title. That'd be great, but
yeah, I think
that might be too crowded for now. I mean, we have Punk, McIntyre, and Rollins.
Well, Punk's
is there
not
room for
coming back
Gunther
a
right
while.
now? Okay.
Yeah, Punk is not coming back for a while, or at least for another few months. Seth Rollins, if everything is still holding up, I think he's supposed to be. I thought I read somewhere he's taking a break after Mania a while back. That's what I say, if it's still holding up that way, because he had that back stuff and all that.
Well, his ACL was torn.
Yeah, that too. So he was supposed to be taking some time off after Mania.
Okay.
Roman Reigns is also taking time off after Mania.
Win or lose.
Well, he said if he loses, he's done.
Oh. Well, there you go.
So that's time off. But he said it as like, I'm not coming. Like if if the tribal chief doesn't have the title, that's it. There's no tribal chief anymore. So I don't know. He was teasing that he's going away if he loses. Which I believe I said, when this run is over, he's pretty much done with wrestling.
Yeah, he's obviously trying to position himself for Hollywood because he's overacting a lot.
Well, but yeah, all that's to be said to say, Gunther, he he'll have a run. They did announce on Raw or that they're going to Cardiff, or no, they're going. Where the hell's McIntyre
Berlin.
from?
Oh, whatever, Scottish.
Air Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're going there.
They're
So
they're
they're
supposed to be going
gonna.
to Berlin too.
They are going to Berlin too.
So,
So they're gonna have an
fucking
international. I'm
stupid.
saying Gunther could main event one of those because international
Yeah.
flavor.
But they ruined his streak for nothing.
They did, but it was gonna have to end at some point.
I understand that. I really do. And I'm not suggesting that Gunther should be undefeated as much as I would like that. Yeah, he's not going to be undefeated for his entire career. But I would like to think that they built a 600 fucking day title run for somebody to actually benefit from it. Sammy's not going to benefit from it.
He's not, but at the same time, he's like really. There was only like three, maybe that's enough of a name to beat her. That's Cody, that's Seth, that's McIntyre, and that's Sammy.
They could have
Those are
built up
your
Braun Breaker. They could have built up somebody from SmackDown. The
yeah, but
Obi-Wan
that's gonna
Kenobi
take
guy
time.
with the what's that?
I said, but that's gonna take time.
Then take the time. Why wouldn't you take the time? You've already taken 600 days. What's another couple days?
Well, they wanted to do it tonight.
It's,
Maybe they
it,
didn't, but maybe they didn't want to do it tonight. But I'm just saying, Sami Zayn is as big of a name. After all, he did just main event last year's WrestleMania,
and
and
he's
he
done
was
nothing since then.
and an Elimination Chamber. He main evented that show too, so he's a bona
Yeah,
fide main eventer.
that was before WrestleMania. They beat the Usos at WrestleMania. They lost to the Judgment Day. He's done nothing. In fact, he devalued the tag titles.
But he's got the name value.
Obviously not if he devalues shit.
Well, it's just hard to follow the Usos. He was gonna have to devalue it. There's only one way it can go after that,
Okay.
and
Well,
that's because it has such a story behind it.
there's only one way this is going to go. Because Chad Gable and Sami Zayn's not the marquee match. Sorry.
I know. I'm just saying. I understand that it happened now because I was shocked when it happened at first. I was like, "Oh my god, they really did it!" But I thought about it and I was like, "Okay, it is Sami Zayn. If we look at it, that's one of their top guys, so
Who has
it
done
makes
nothing but
sense."
lose. He was a top guy last year,
Yeah,
and then he's lost.
I think in their eyes they still hold
Okay.
that value.
Well, I don't.
Someone in the post scrum thing, someone even compared him to like this generation Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
That
fuck
person
you.
debated, of course, but
Fuck that shit. Sami Zayn is not even close to Shawn Michaels.
that's the people they let in those media scrums.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Gunther could have wrestled Brock Lesnar this year, but instead he lost a fruitcake.
Because Brock Lesnar likes pee. That's why.
Because Brock Lesnar likes pee. He ruined everything. Well, Aldis and Pierce ran their dick lickers. After that, they celebrate how many people came to watch this piece of shit. And they can get 70,000 people in the building, but they can't properly book a fucking streak. That's what I wrote.
Well, they know how to do something.
So Rhodes and Rollins versus Reigns and The Rock is next. And can't Rollins just for once dress like he enjoys pussy?
You know, apparently, I was schooled on the fact that that was like a regal thing
Mm,
overseas.
for queens, maybe.
That was apparently that was a masculine suit thing.
If
I
you
said, but it has a train.
there, there's it has the shoulder thing. The shoulder thing was like bigger than his entire body.
Yeah, he couldn't
And
even
he's
lift
just
his arm.
standing there with his fucking train and his shoulder thing and his sparkles. Well, you got two serious looking Samoans. Rock's entrance was fine. The lightning and the lights and the fire, the ring of fire.
The new title that he got last night.
I was really confused about that. I was really angry. Like, why the fuck does Rock have he had to get his own little special belt just so he can feel important coming into this match? Like, I thought he just got a belt just so he can carry a belt to the ring. I'm all mad. And then finally, Michael Cole, Layla Ali gave it to him. Like, okay, it makes sense. Still stupid, but it makes sense. At least at least my scenario didn't play out because
Yeah,
that's
but
more
he just
pathetic.
like
I got to
created the
carry a
million
belt out
dollar
too.
championship.
Yeah.
People were joking online. Oh, Damian Priest is going to cash in on that title.
I wrote, seriously, what the fuck is Rollins wearing? I thought it'd be funny if Rollins F5 Cody during the introductions because it was kind of laid out like like the Brock turn.
Yeah.
So it starts off with I'd say Rollins and Cody showing that they can hang with Rock and Roman. Maybe they weren't quite ready for that, but of course the numbers game and the fact that Rock tells the ref that if he fucking counts, he's fucking fired. Don't fuck with the Rock.
Yeah, he definitely did have a potty mouth.
Yeah, he's like that slow cousin that has Tourette's. Just fuck, 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 motherfucker.
He's in character. He's got a cuss.
Okay. So after fighting in the stands on the entrance ramp, using various objects, turns into a regular tag team match again. That's only after Rollins fucks up his knee. And Rock actually got curb stomped. I think the disaster kick is a lot better than the Cody cutter. Should probably get rid of the Cody cutter.
Messed it up twice.
Yeah. I will say the Cody cutter or the Superman punch into the Cody cutter was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit 6 of them. I mean, one of them's bound to look good, right? Rollins hit Roman with a frog splash. That only got a 2 count. And Roman gets a curb stomp and a crossroads, but the Rock pulls the ref out of the ring. The Roman hits Cody in the dick, and then he gets a spear, and that's for 2. Roman locks in a guillotine, but Cody fights out. So the Rock trips Cody and grabs his legs before he can get out of Roman's guillotine. So it looks like Cody's fucked. But then Rollins curb stomps Roman. And for some reason, the Rock is tagged in. Because, like, they just... I don't know. They would fight like it's a no DQ match, and then just all of a sudden just turn into a regular tag match again. It was really weird. Rock ends up grabbing the Mama Rhodes belt, and he starts talking shit to Mama Rhodes. Says Cody's blood is on it, and her tears are next. Mama Rhodes says, "That's not true. That's bullshit." Cody gets the belt from Rock, but he doesn't use it. And then Cody hits a bionic elbow. Rock goes for his people's elbow, but he eats a Cody cutter. And then Cody goes for a crossroads, but Roman comes with a Superman punch. And then Roman goes for a spear on Cody, but he hits the Rock. And then, which meant nothing. Nothing happened from that. Roman just speared The Rock, and The Rock shrugged it off. He didn't look at him twice. He didn't stutter step. It just happened.
What was supposed to happen?
Why the fuck did you spear me, bitch? That's supposed to be the start of the rift.
Oh, no,
Don't
we're
they want
cool.
don't they want Rock and Roman? Isn't that like the fucking what they want to shove down our throats? Remember
No, we're
when we all
cool.
rejected Roman and they ended up shoving him down our throats anyway? For
As a matter of fact, it
thousands of days?
turned out that it was too cool. Like there was no turns on anybody.
All right.
I told you they were just like teasing us.
They were. Cody and Rollins hit dual pedigrees for 2, and I wrote, God damn it. Like at this point, he's getting stupid. And Cody rock bottoms Rock through an announce table. Rollins gets speared through the barricade. Cody throws Rock into the ring, and Roman hits him with a drive-by. Rock needlessly tags Roman in because, again, they just pick and choose when they want to follow the rules. And the commentators are even like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why are they even trying at this point? Cody does 3 crossroads, and The Rock hits Cody with his belt because he did that thing like he did last year where he staggered to the ropes, allowing somebody from the outside to be within striking distance. You'd think he'd fucking learn, but he didn't. Roman hits Cody with a spear. Cody gets rock bottomed and he gets a people's elbow. Rock and Roman finally fucking win. And all of that bullshit, no blood. And Roman and Cody is going to be the exact same fucking match, too.
No blood, but I think it'll come, tomorrow or today, however you want to look at that. But I don't know. I liked everything about this match.
Okay.
He told there's many stories told in this match. I don't know. It was like no one says like the perfect thing can do, but it's pretty damn close. So you build. What are the stories in this match? The one story is that Rollins is putting his body, throwing everything he can at this match. And oh, by the way, he has to defend his title tomorrow. And Drew McIntyre, he posted his on his social media. He was just like sitting, sitting, relaxing, drinking whatever he was drinking, just feet up on the table, cross-legged, watching the match.
Oh, they did show him? Good.
Yeah,
I
or I think
missed that.
he posted it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's just like chilling, watching this whole thing. And
I
he
thought it would have
said,
been a nice touch if he came out and just sat on a chair at ringside while, especially the part where Rollins is just getting tortured.
yeah, just come out. And yeah, the Rock was abusing his power, telling the ref, if you count, you're fired. And don't you fuck with the Rock, you know he'll do it. And then also, yeah, every time he was, it was really reminiscent to what we're about to, the next thing we're gonna review. But really, like every time he would cheat, and he would do it right in front of the ref, but the ref can't do anything because that's his boss. And he would tell him too,
Yeah.
you better keep your mouth shut. Like the belt hit at the end there was right in front of the ref. All the times where The Rock was tagging, or he wasn't tagging in, but he would just like attack Cody to tip the balance in their favor, right in front of the ref.
Mm-hmm.
So The Rock being the boss throwing his power around, you had that story. You had the story of Cody Rhodes keeps getting close to like overcoming Roman Reigns, but every time there's like something. There's that story. So yeah, everything played into a bigger picture. That being tomorrow.
I don't know, just everybody hitting their finisher 100 times, the inconsistent tag match rule thing. Like, either follow the rules or don't. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that you would cheat and then all of a sudden just start being concerned about whether or not, especially after telling the ref that you're going to fucking fire him. That especially just took me out of the match. Then it was way too long. It could have been over like 6 or 7 false finishes ago.
True, there was definitely false finishes. I was on the edge of my seat for the whole thing
I was at
because I was
first, but
like,
then
"Oh,
like,
who's really gonna?" Well, I don't know. I was nervous for The Rock.
mm-hmm.
Like, and he's the final boss. We can't be having him getting hurt. If he like does something and gets hurt, because last time he wrestled, he got hurt. Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, can't get hurt before his big match.
Actually, The Rock's the safest one to get hurt because he only has to worry about this match.
Well, he's got to show up tomorrow too.
Yeah, but he can
Hide it.
swing a weight belt unless he breaks his arm or something.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat, and I was not on the edge of my seat because the outcome was pretty evident, but the yeah, just kind of at the end, just way too much.
I guess that's your typical bloodline match.
Yeah.
But yeah, on my side, I enjoyed it. I would say from after the first 2 matches. No, after the first 3 matches. I enjoyed the show after that.
Okay.
I think the first 3 matches. So after the Legato match, from that point on, I enjoyed the show.
That's fair. I thought this entire show from top to bottom was a steaming pile of shit. So
there you go.
There's that. And I don't think night 2 is going to be any better. Who is in night 2? McIntyre, Rollins, Cody, Roman, EO, and Bailey. The Lashley and that stuff.
Yeah.
And others. Oh, LA Knight and Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did feel to me like night 1 was like I don't know, like a
a Raw.
pre-show for night 2.
Yeah.
Just without the commercials. Although I'm team cheap, so I got commercials.
The entrances sucked. I don't see anything big happening as a result of this. There was no debuts or returns, or nobody fucked anybody over. Just nothing really happened.
Yeah, we'll see what night 2 holds.
Yeah. Gunther
It
lost.
almost kind of felt like they were holding out until night 2. But again, after the first couple matches, I'm sorry. I forgot about the Rhea Becky match. I did enjoy that match. So really, the only 2 matches were the 6-pack ladder match and Legato's match. Those were the only 2 that was a miss for me. Oh, they were one of the ones I was into.
All right. Well, we go from one steaming pile of shit to another. We get to our wrestling rewind.
The retro review.
And this week is Sold Out 97. NWO Sold Out, to be exact. And we're coming off perhaps the best pay-per-view top to bottom that we've reviewed so far. Hogan lost to Piper, but still pulled out a fast one over everybody and retained his title. And the NWO is stronger than ever. So what's the perfect symbol of strength and dominance? Strength and dominance? Dump trucks.
Is that what those things were?
Yep. They're garbage truck, dump trucks things.
Okay.
So we're on the streets of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's snowing, and Bischoff and Hall are riding in the back of dump trucks, and they're shouting back and forth over how badass they are riding on the back of a truck in the middle of the winter. Master Six is showing off his cat-like agility by running alongside the dump trucks. And there's one limo, presumably Hogan is in it. Everyone outside riding in dump trucks freezing their asses off, but Hogan's sipping on Cristal in the limo. And lots of sirens and NWO flags. Master Six says NWO is going to change the wrestling world. Hogan sneaks in with everybody as if he was, walking with them, pretending to be all cold and shit. I thought Hogan called Bischoff the Dallas Cowboys, but it turns out that the Dallas Cowboys were indeed there. Didn't it sound like he called the Bischoff the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah.
Okay. Bischoff says Hogan always delivers, and NWO hoot and holler for a while. Then Bischoff says it's time to address the masses. And this is when we learned that they fucking colorized this pay-per-view.
Oh,
Not
so okay.
Yeah, this is a black and white pay-per-view, but the pussies.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I don't like streaming services. This is why I want to go back to the digital or the
Physical copy.
physicals. See, this is why, right there.
Yep.
If I had my physical copy, you can't go in and
fuck with it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see it the way it was originally released. It's a shitty pay-per-view anyway. Putting color on it's not going to help.
Although I will say, with that opening that was in black and white, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a long pay-per-view.
I know. I was waiting this whole time for this pay-per-view because I know how much you love black and white shit. I was really wanting to see how you thought of this, and it was ruined. It's probably Vince's idea. So they played a jumbled up clip of various NWO members saying one-liners, and Bischoff has clearly taken more of a spotlight for himself. And he's speaking like he's doing a guerrilla press conference. He says that the NWO is in control. And to those that have joined us, thank you, one and all. And to those who have decided to oppose us tonight, what the hell were you thinking? And the pay-per-view starts. There's an NWO Titantron, and the ring has NWO canvas. So there's a strong NWO theme. They've completely taken over this pay-per-view. And Bischoff introduces Hogan and the Outsiders, and all three of men appear via video. Hogan says WCW will cease to exist tonight. NWO is for life, and as the Outsiders would say, sold out. Hall says that they're kicking it to Bischoff and DiBiase, and then Nash keeps repeating sold out in a weird voice. And Bischoff and DiBiase are indeed on commentary. Miss Elizabeth is also there. I think that's her only appearance. And Bischoff tells her to take his leather jacket off so he can put on another one. And then DiBiase has issues with his headset. It's going to be a good pay-per-view. Kicking off the night is Chris Jericho and Masahiro Chono. Masahiro Chono's from New Japan, and he was recently signed to WCW to kick off their, Japan division. I don't know what the fuck their end game with that was, but they were excited. And Jericho is announced as the first challenger from somewhere north of the border. Chris, I should have stayed with Hockey Jericho. And Jericho says he doesn't want music at his show, or at this show. And Chono apparently shocked the wrestling world by signing with WCW. And Bischoff says more to come in a bad Japanese accent.
Yeah.
And Nick Patrick is in the ring, and he has an NWO shirt and a hat and a scowl. And there's a 5 and a 3 sitting in a couple Harleys that Bischoff says is too sweet. And WCW wrestlers show up in the stands to sit with the fans. And the match starts, and Jericho actually made a valiant effort, but he couldn't overcome Chono's offense and Patrick's slow counting. And Jericho gets sent through a tiny table on the outside, and Chono ends up winning with a mafia kick. And they plugged a Miss NWO contest, saying how much harder the questions will be than the Miss America contest. They plugged the Miss NWO contest, saying how much harder the questions will be than the Miss America contest. A sample of the types of questions we can expect is, what city are you from? Yeah, won't get those hard-hitting questions from Miss America. And they cut to Mongo
Wait.
Oh, yep.
No. I mixed it with something else. Yeah.
Okay.
I did like the fact. Well, I don't know. Maybe I did like the fact that I thought it was creative. I would say that the babyface didn't get any music, but the heel did.
Yeah, it made sense.
Except for the fact that it was that, I don't know. It was like the L generic version of the NWO theme.
Mm.
It's like the royalty free version of the thing.
Yeah, Hogan's not using Hendrix yet.
He's not.
Well, they did cut to Mongo McMichael sitting in the stands, and he was all kinds of disgusted. But yeah, it was just a match.
Yeah, it was kind of just there.
So Bischoff and DiBiase talk about the Miss NWO contest some more. They briefly show a couple 3s and 4s who are apparently contestants. Bischoff says the NWO is changing the world, and a lot of women wanted to be a part of the Miss NWO contest. And here's the ones that didn't make it. They show pictures of various ladies. It was a mixed bag. Then some awkward fuck asks the contestants Miss NWO questions. The fuck asks a 4 what NWO going all the way means to her. And she either says Falacia or Malaysia. Don't know. And the fuck says, oh
So
my. Oh, yep.
My caption said Malaysia.
Okay. So going all the way with NWO means Malaysia to the 4. So then the awkward fuck says, oh my. And is that it? And the 4 says, so far. And the fuck says, she's a quiet woman, but that might be what it takes to win Miss NWO. So then the fuck moves on to a 3 and asks what she would do to tame Big Kevin Nash. And the 3 says, anything it takes. The fuck wants details. The 3 isn't having any of that. So the fuck calls her a minx. So then the fuck says, this is going to go on all night. And Bischoff says he can feel, this feels like a party, not work.
Oh, they weren't kidding. Like it was going on all night.
Yes.
My question is, was this like purposefully that they chose such women?
I don't know. Well, I think that was just happened to be the people that entered. I think the criteria was ladies with motorcycles.
And that's what they came out with. Okay. I was like, is this like a part of it? It's like, oh, we got the most beautiful women, and then that's what they show up with. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But then, yeah, Bischoff, he kept pushing he wanted women in bikes, and like, these are the best. Like, the criteria is you got to have a bike. So maybe he's into that. I don't know.
He's clearly into it.
Yeah, but it's like maybe that's part of the character. Is he want some biker babe that looks rough.
Like a biker dude.
But beauty's in the eye of the beholder, of course.
And there was no eyes to behold there.
As long as I'm not having sex with him, I don't care.
Well, Hugh Morris and Bubba Rogers didn't have sex, but they had a Mexican death match. And Rogers is NWO now, I guess. And Morris is introduced as someone whose face is funnier than his laugh. And Rogers is introduced as Big Bubba, who should flatten Conan like a Mexican tortilla in no time. And the 4 from earlier says, yeah, into the camera. They all looked like hostages. They were just sitting awkwardly, just kind of staring at the Titantron.
They're paid to be there.
Yeah. Bischoff takes a moment to address Savage, saying he's not welcomed in WCW as far as employment is concerned. Apparently, Savage had to sit down at the start of a Nitro and is making claims about being blackballed.
Well, he did keep bringing that up. Being Bischoff. He kept bringing up the fact that Macho Man is not wanted here and he left the company and all this stuff.
And Piper will never get another title shot.
Yeah, they tried to throw around their weight. It's like, golly.
Well, Morris ends up throwing Rogers into the steel steps, and Patrick gets into his face, or gets his face into the camera to say if Morris keeps it up, he's sending him out of here. There's rules around here. And Rogers gets handcuffed, or he gets handcuffs from his jacket that's hanging in the corner. And Hart hits Bubba when he's down on the ground, because, of course, Jimmy Hart has to be there. Although I did notice he didn't have his megaphone, so he's learning.
He didn't.
Rogers gets a chain from his jacket and obliterates Morris. Patrick asks Rogers if Morris brought the chain in the ring. Rogers says, yeah, he brought it in the ring, but I'm going to use it. And Morris gets the chain away from Bubba and nails him with it. And then Morris hits the no laughing matter. And instead of going for the pin, he just celebrates. Now, Nick Patrick has to count to 10. That's why he celebrated. I think, yeah, this is where you got to get in the ring and they got to count to 10 and shit. That's, yeah.
No, that was WWE.
Oh, that's right.
Where you had to you pinned them and then they had to make it to the ring. But that was WWE. But this one was just
they had to be down for
you had to beat
count.
the 10 count. But yeah, it wasn't until this moment that it really started to enact on that whole
okay thing. But it was just really weird just seeing him celebrate, and then he just started. I wish they would have explained the rules. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was. I heard the Mexican death match thing, but up until that moment, I didn't know it was also false count. Or I'm sorry, last man standing.
Right. I didn't know that was the Mexican death part.
Yeah.
Patrick starts his count over after yelling at Jimmy Hart, and then Patrick starts fanning and slapping Rogers to get him to wake up. Morris is pissed off and he backs off Patrick. And then Rogers comes to, saves Patrick, and gets knocked out again. Morris stops the count to threaten Patrick for no reason. And then Morris and Rogers fight to the entrance ramp. Morris tries a no laughing matter from the stairs set up by the entrance ramp. At least I think that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Now, what was funny to me is he pointed up like he was going to go up high, and then he just like went up 3 steps.
Yeah.
Like he had a change of heart. Because at first I thought, well, there's no way he's going to
clear all
those steps. Yeah. So I was like, maybe he's going to like go on top of something. Because, he's not jumping. You'd have to jump out so far to clear that.
Mm.
But no, he only went up 3 steps.
And well, Rogers rolls out of the way of the no laughing matter, and he takes the 4's motorcycle. Rogers then rams Morris with the motorcycle. Rogers runs back to the ring because, of course, and then Patrick counts to 10, and Rogers wins whatever this was.
Very fast count too.
Very fast count. And Nick Patrick's facials were great. Like the fast count at the end was perfect. Bubba and Nick Patrick hugging at the end was great. It looks like Nick Patrick praised Bubba for running him over. Like, oh, that was a good idea.
Yeah, he said that was a good one.
Yeah. The awkward fuck is back with the Miss NWO shit. And he's with a 5, who he asks what she would do to be in one of Hulk Hogan's movies, who has a lot of power. And the 5 says, whatever it takes. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And at least Bischoff called that shit out because, like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's like, that's the last one said that.
The fuck says he likes the 5, and the fuck goes over to another 5, and he says that he has $1.50. What's her price? And the other 5 says that he would walk away with a bill, a
big bill.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
And then he said something about, oh,
Big
there's
bill.
a joke I can make there, but I'm not gonna.
I fucked up my note there. Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna say what I wanted to say. And the fuck is sweating like a rabid pig, by the way. And the fuck says, stay tuned for more riveting Miss NWO bullshit. And the other 5 dances or has a seizure. I couldn't tell. I'm at the edge of my seat with this Miss NWO contest. I don't know about you. So after that, Bischoff raised about dancers they were able to get. And then they cut to 2 silhouettes. One is barely moving. It's pathetic. Bischoff says history is being made. DiBiase says nobody does it like the NWO. WCW, take notes. And NWO also has a website that I remember going to many times.
Boy, that looks like 1 megapixel.
Right?
I was like, golly, that's how our internet pages looked like.
It's almost unrecognizable.
Yeah. They didn't know anything about SEO back then.
Right? Well, up next is Jeff Jarrett versus IRS. And Patrick came out, and I thought he was going to have another match because they did the music, and he just starts walking out after Jarrett made his entrance. So I love how this match started. IRS and Jarrett, they lock up. IRS backs Jarrett in the corner. Patrick breaks them up, and IRS nails Jarrett with a closed fist. So Jarrett, of course, he gets pissed off, has to be calmed down by Patrick. So they do it again, but this time Jarrett backs IRS in the corner. But when Jarrett is about to give IRS a taste of his own medicine, Patrick grabs Jarrett's arm and backs him off. So it's obvious that this is not a fair fight right off the bat. Brilliant. Yeah. Then Patrick brings both men into the middle of the ring and specifically tells Jarrett that he wants them to wrestle. This isn't a fist fight. While IRS is nodding behind him like, yeah, you tell him. Jarrett blatantly chokes IRS while he has him hung up on the ropes. Patrick yells at him and Jarrett says, I've got to 5. I know what I'm doing. Then Jarrett shoots in the ropes to do like that sitting guillotine move the Undertaker does. But Patrick pushes IRS out of the way, so Jarrett gets crotched. Brilliant. And then Jarrett gets knocked out of the ring and acts like he hits his face on the guardrail. And a fan in front of him tells him to get up and fight like a man and actually starts pushing him up. And Jarrett gets IRS in a figure 4 leg lock, and Patrick drags him to the ropes. During the replay, DiBiase said he valiantly fought to the ropes.
Of course.
And Deborah, for some reason, gets emotional, drags Mongo out to nail IRS with the Halliburton attaché case. And then he says Patrick is next if he doesn't count the pin. Mongo pulls Jarrett up by his hair to celebrate afterward.
So I believe they said on commentary they're telling some kind of story with the Horsemen where Deborah has a crush on Jarrett or something.
So Mongo's going to help Jarrett get his dick wet with his wife?
Yeah, she made him help.
I really want to fuck him, Steve.
Very much.
Okay.
But It was also around. I think it was at this match that voiceover guy started chiming in on matches.
Loser.
Loser.
And we're back with the
Oh,
awkward
by the
fuck.
way,
Oh, yep.
I don't know if you said it, but the announcer, like the announcer to the each match, was the mysterious NWO voiceover guy.
I did not. And we're back with the awkward fuck and Miss NWO. And the fuck is with the two this time. And he wants to know what part of the two's anatomy would best help her win Miss NWO. And the two says probably her feet. The fuck says creative answer, but not what he was hoping for. Then he moves on to Grandma, who can barely hear properly, or who can't hear properly. And the fuck asked Granny what she would do to buff Bagwell's biceps. She didn't hear any of it. And the fuck makes a bad hearing aid joke. Then we rock on to the silhouette dancers again. This is fucking pathetic. It's
And
like
every
they don't
time we
know
cut
what
to
good
him,
women look like.
yeah, that's what I was asking. Was that like part of the shtick, or
I just think
this was actually they thought this was a good choice? These women were good choices.
if I had to guess, it would just happen to be what they had. Because I mean, they have Miss Elizabeth. They have to know what a decent looking woman looks like, right?
Of
Deborah's
course,
there. Okay.
Medusa.
Medusa.
You know, she's about to go get those gigantos.
Yeah. Bull Nakano.
Okay.
American Males loser Scotty Riggs versus Buff Bagwell. And Riggs comes out saying it's going to be it's going to be WCW forever. And Bagwell's biceps are so big, Nick Patrick needs to help him get his ridiculous looking vest off. And Buff won with a blockbuster. And I honestly didn't care one iota about this match. They had the NWO guy piping loser every so often. This is when they really started ramping it up. And they abused the periscope camera thing, whatever the fuck it was called.
That overhead camera, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool like when they do one or two shots with it earlier, but like the whole match was basically that fucking angle. It was awful.
Yeah, they showed the blockbuster from that angle
Yeah.
the first time.
Buff was a good clueless heel. He said the crowd loved him when they were obviously saying that he sucked. And then some girls dance on the stage dance on the stage in the least sexy way possible. And Buff dances with one of them, and Bischoff alludes to Bagwell having been a porn star.
I will say, he was actually one of my favorite NWO members. Not right now, but he will turn into it. Like when he starts doing the dance thing, or his like over the top strut.
His little pose.
Yeah, like it's like a
He
over
swims with his
animated
arms
strut
and then
and
poses.
then poses. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he's doing that, he's like one of my low key favorites outside
I,
of the main guys, of course. But
I enjoyed the blockbuster.
that's
There's
it.
always something about him that, I don't know. It always seemed like he had herpes or something.
Well, they were really pushing his pretty gimmick part. Oh, he's so
That they were.
handsome. He's got look at those muscles. Trying to
Well, it's funny.
ration Rick Rude.
I was watching something or listening to something, and apparently Bagwell and Steiner would compete over who had the better looking body.
Well,
And
clearly
now,
not like late Steiner.
well, even we see him later. Even now, I don't see how Bagwell would even have a puncher's chance. Now, don't get me wrong, Bagwell looks good, but Steiner looks like a fucking animal.
Yeah, but he's got that big frame. I don't know if he's got a 6-pack under there.
It's true.
I mean, what's his percentage? Probably like, I don't know, 9-10%.
Don't know.
As opposed to Bagwell's, and this being the body fat percentage I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Bagwell's probably like 5% maximum. I couldn't imagine being at like a single percent of body fat.
Oh, I can imagine.
I couldn't.
I don't know if I could achieve it. Well, we get more Miss NWO bullshit. The awkward fuck thankfully tells us we're just about done with all this horse shit. But first, the fuck asks a one what she would wear to dress up with Vince Virgil. We'll call him Virgil. The one can't hear a thing, so the fuck repeats the questions and throws in suggestions like sexy lingerie. Ugh. The one says, sure, why not? The fuck says, ooh, she's open to it, folks. And then the fuck moves on to a 7. Like, why hasn't she immediately won, is what I wrote. And the fuck asks the 7 if she'll stop Scott's flashing problem or help it. 7 hopes that she adds to the problem. And the fuck nuts in his pants.
Yeah, he's. I don't know. Because it comes quick. That's what they were getting at there.
DDP versus Scott Norton. Norton pretty much beats the shit out of Page. Sting shows up in the stands just to stand. Bagwell, Vince, Bubba, and IRS come out to recruit DDP in the middle of the match. Even though he refused repeatedly. Page agrees to join the NWO. Everyone's high-fiving. Then Page diamond cuts Norton and then decks everyone and runs out through the fans, tearing off the NWO shirt and saying, bang!
And let me know, Norton was never on board with it because
he was not.
He was in the middle of fighting him.
Yeah, he was in the middle of whooping that ass.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want him in it. I don't want him in yet. Let me finish this.
Yeah. Bagwell vows that DDP will never be a part of the NWO. And Patrick declares Norton the winner by countout.
So far, NWO has won every match except for one.
Yes. And we have Miss NWO bullshit. The fuck asks a 4 during the replay what her favorite maneuver is and how to apply it. The 4 says she'd show him, but there's children watching. The fuck gives the 5 his hotel room, or the 4 his hotel room. And I adjusted the numbers. The 4 his hotel room number. Then the fuck asks a 3 what she'd do to make Masahiro Chono more comfortable in the United States. The 3 says anything he wants, just as long as there's chopsticks. Steiner Brothers versus the Outsiders for the tag team titles. Not a bad match at all, although I thought the Outsiders versus Faces of Fear was better. The Outsiders pretty much ran away with the entire match by double teaming and using Patrick's bias. Nash spits on Steiner while he's in the corner, giving Rick enough time to hit him in the balls. So Steiner gets Hall up for the Steiner Bulldog, but Nash hits Rick, who had Hall on his shoulders. Patrick gets bumped from all that, so he flops out of the ring. Then Hall hits Steiner with a razor's edge, but Patrick's knocked out, so we don't get the pin. We get finally a decent razor's edge, but no pin. Rick and Nash fight on the floor, with Rick ramming Nash into the ring post. Hall's confused as fuck. Rick gets on the top ropes, and he hits a bulldog onto Hall. Rick pulls Scott on top of Hall. Then Randy Anderson comes from the stands to count the pin. DiBiase and Bischoff are livid. He's not sanctioned! People throw garbage in the ring, while the Steiners celebrate. And Bischoff is going to go to the executive committee to have the decision reversed immediately.
Yep. It was a good match though. Just I like how they did the whole, oh look, the Steiner brothers cheated. They attacked the ref, even though it was the outsiders who did it.
Right. I liked it too. I didn't like the idea of the ref coming from the stands. I mean, it makes sense, but just me personally.
Yeah, I always like the run-in ref, but like before the run-in, there's probably some bullshit that happened, and he's just like ignoring all that.
Yeah.
Like especially like they see someone like get hit with the belt, and then they make the pin, and then there's no one to count. Then the ref runs out. Well,
You
if
just
you're
saw the
running out,
shit
you
before,
just
though.
saw,
Yeah.
yeah, you just saw that illegal object.
It's
But
not like the match starts when you get in the ring. Yeah. That makes sense.
I can overlook that for
Yeah.
the dramatizations.
Well, we
But
have
yeah, I
Mexico.
did like the match.
It was all right. I don't know if there was really a match I enjoyed. This was not a good week of wrestling for old Harry.
Sounds like it. Like nothing.
Mexican jumping bean Eddie Guerrero versus Master 6 for the U.S. title. And it's a ladder match. Eddie gets the jump early on 6. Eddie gets the jump early, but 6 is able to hold his own thanks to his karate. Bischoff goes on a long soliloquy about how Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme are jokes, but Master 6 is the real deal. It used to really piss Bischoff off growing up hearing people take a couple YMCA classes and then call themselves a black belt. And then next time you see them, they get their asses kicked by a woman and make the whole genre look bad. But Master 6, he's the real McCoy.
I
6 did
didn't
a
follow. I was just gonna say I didn't really. I remember the YMCA line, but I didn't follow who he was talking about. I had thought he was saying 6 is such a master black belt. He took some classes at the YMCA.
oh, well, no, he was saying that he was better than Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme because they're jokes.
So
And
they
then,
took the classes at the Y.
well, Bischoff said it would really piss him off that you hear guys talk about how they're black belts, and then you find out that they're nothing. They took a couple classes at the YMCA, and then they just decided to call themselves black belts, and they don't know shit. And then they get into one fight, and they lose to a woman, and it just makes everybody look bad.
Okay. I remember speaking of the YMCA thing, one of my favorite Martin episodes was when the person broke into the house.
Oh, the self-defense one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, Gina, you gotta be over here learning this stuff. And she said, I'm okay. I took karate classes at the YMCA. And he was like, well, damn, we ain't fighting the village people.
That's a good one. Lost my spot. 6 did a kick to Eddie's head from the top of the ladder. Both men fell, but 6 totally got the worst of it. Because he just went like face first into the mat. So they climb the ladder again, then start punching each other. Eddie falls off the ladder, but lands on the ropes, then bounces back onto the ladder, knocking 6 off the ladder. It's a lot of times to say ladder. They climb up the ladder a third time. Bischoff tells 6 to do it for Allison Chains. And then 6 and Eddie get the belt at the same time. They play tug of war for a little bit. Then Eddie nails 6 with the title. The title falls with 6, but Eddie climbs down to snatch it up anyway, and he's declared the winner. Now, the best part of this whole thing was Nick Patrick, because you would have thought Nick Patrick lost everything he ever loved the moment that Eddie won. He grabs his head. He's all sad. He slowly rings the bell. He's fucking just irate. This is
he
Nick
lost his
Patrick's
shit.
pay-per-view. He's the fucking star.
Well, he really was. Because,
Yeah.
first of all, shout out to him reffing the whole night.
Right?
Like, that was a thing in itself. But yeah, Eddie Guerrero won. He was like, "Damn it, I have to call this." Like, there's no way around it.
Right. And just he was great all evening. Well, Eddie tells Eric to kiss his ass, and then he leaps through the crowd. And then Bischoff says a new solid gold belt is going to be made just for Master 6 after he straightens out the Steiner Brothers situation.
Yep, I got 2 things to take care of.
Yes. So we're on our Miss NWO finals, thank Christ. And the awkward fuck asked the crowd to cheer for the homely bitch they think they're... The awkward fuck asked the crowd to cheer for the homely bitch they like the most. And it sounded like they got a couple jeers instead of cheers. To me, at least. Then the awkward fuck tells us that exercise was completely pointless because Bischoff gets to decide the final winner. So after saying a whole bunch of nothing, Bischoff says that there's a tie. And he says he's going to ask each one just one question, and whoever has the best answer wins.
But oh, by the way,
yeah, Bischoff has to think about the question on the spot instead of, having a prepared question like a professional would. And then Bischoff says he's going to whisper the question so only he and the contestant know what it is. What kind of Mormon bullshit is this?
Yeah, this makes great television, by the way.
You make us sit through all this bullshit and we don't even get to hear the spicy questions?
Yeah, and she whispers the answer back to him.
So Bischoff picks the 2 ugliest bitches of the group, and they whisper into each other's ears. The ugliest of the semifinalists win. Then Bischoff kisses her twice. And I wrote, what the fuck is this? Then this pig with lipstick trots around the ring with flowers, a tiara, and an NWO sash. Then she sits on an NWO shitter. And for some reason, DiBiase still speaks to Bischoff after this. Then Bischoff tries to make a beautiful on the inside joke, like he didn't just have her tongue down his throat. Ultimate guy that would fuck another guy and then call that guy a queer. I'm not gay. No, you just sucked my dick, you fag. I got your semen, the taste of your semen on my tongue. You're so gay. I'm not gay. Anyway, that was Bischoff. So after that, the Giant faces Hollywood Hulk Hogan for the heavyweight title of WCW. And Bischoff claims that this is the first time we see pyro to music. Yeah. He played tonsil hockey with an orangutan. I can't take anything he says seriously. And I thought Hogan just came out with a couple black dudes and Vince. And turns out that was the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, no one I had recognized. They weren't like the 8. Well, I guess they were, but they weren't the best team.
Yeah. George Teague was the only one that I recognized by name. The only one I knew by face was Virgil. Tells you how up to date I am on my Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. But it was good to note that apparently the Super Bowl has gone on and the Patriots were in the Super Bowl.
Patriots and Packers. So Oh, this was Brett Favre.
It's Brett Favre.
Yeah, this was Brett Favre's Super Bowl.
Ah,
It was 97. Yeah, Brett Favre. So
nice
this
little
is,
history there.
yeah, it'd be interesting to kind of listen for those little nuggets. Like, oh, the Patriots just hired that Belichick guy. Ah,
Yeah, I
good
just
luck with
remember.
that.
I remember one of the other couple pay-per-views ago. They were like, "Oh, you'll never be back-to-back champions like the Dallas Cowboys." It's like, oh, unfortunately, we'll never be it again either.
Well, as far as the match, this was pretty much a Giant Hogan match at this point. Was this like their third or fourth time wrestling?
uh, something like that. I think. Yeah.
Hogan used powder on Giant's eyes, then started eye poking and back raking him. Then Hogan strangled Giant with his wrist tape. Giant went for a top rope elbow drop and missed. Stupid. The WCW wrestlers were doing a good job firing up the crowd. You could see Knobs and Stevie Ray and or Booker jumping in the back screaming, Giant, Giant, Giant. It's a nice little visual. And Hogan slams the Giant and hits his atomic leg drop. Hogan immediately gets up and starts celebrating because that's what we do in this era, apparently. And Giant no-sells the leg drop. So Hogan takes an opportunity to cup his ears and celebrate with the crowd on each side of the ring, failing to realize that a 7-foot man is no longer unconscious in the middle of the ring. So Hogan gets chokeslammed. Nick Patrick goes to count the pin, then stops. He says that the lifeless Hogan rolled his shoulders up. So then Giant puts his weight onto both of Hogan's shoulders and tells Patrick to count. Patrick counts to 2, then stops again, saying Hogan rolled his shoulders up. So then Giant hooks Hogan's leg. He looked like an idiot. Like at this point.
That he kept going for it.
Yeah. Like, okay, you know at this point that's not going to work. So Patrick, of course, counts to 2, says Hogan kicked out. Giant finally has had enough, and he chokeslams the star of the show, Nick Patrick. And Bischoff says, I got to go save Hollywood. Bagwell runs in, and he gets chokeslammed. Bischoff runs to ringside, hands Hogan a guitar. Virgil, IRS, Bubba, and Master 6 are all chokeslammed. Hogan destroys Giant with a guitar. Hogan then gets a wooden folding chair because he saw Kevin Sullivan use it and said, oh, that looks cool, brother. So he breaks it over Giant's back. Hogan spray paints NWO on Giant's back. The crowd screams at the top of their lungs, we want Sting. Hogan and the NWO celebrate over Giant's unconscious body. Hogan says, who's next? What a steaming pile of shit. The matches were unimportant, and or we've seen them all. There were no stakes because even though like the NWO guys lost, Bischoff just said, oh, we're going to reverse it. There's that Miss NWO fuckatry.
Yeah, I like the concept of the whole thing, but yeah, it all felt like it was one-sided because the NWO was going to win each match, especially with the Nick Patrick as referee.
Right.
There were moments throughout the night that I did like, but I don't know.
Can't think of any right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one. But oh, what about the Giant? The whole Giant thing. Oh, by the way, Hogan like pulled his pants all the way down, and
I didn't
then
see.
like under his cheeks, and then when he was gonna spray paint him, so much so that Hall pulled his pants back up.
Like, oh, we're about to get to a felony, brother.
Yeah.
I know Buff Bagwell was the only ass I remember seeing.
Oh yeah, his too, with his little neon green thong.
It wasn't a thong, that was a tan line.
Was it?
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah. So on the next Nitro, Eric Bischoff fired Randy Anderson for counting the pinfall victory for the Steiner brothers. It sold out. And he stripped the Steiner brothers of their tag team titles because their title win was officiated by Anderson, who was non-sanctioned. Bischoff then returned the titles to the Outsiders that very night. Giant defeated Roadblock, some WCW guy, and then he challenged Hollywood Hogan to another title match. Lex Luger declared his intent on siding with the Giant against the NWO. Hogan was disqualified in the title match after the Outsiders interfered, but Luger came to side with the Giant, and that set up a title defense for the Outsiders against Luger and Giant at Super Brawl 7. Did I get all that out?
Yeah, I think I followed that.
All right. Hogan challenged Piper, even though Bischoff said that Piper will never, ever get a match. Hogan just said, yeah, you're going to get a match, brother. And it was on Nitro. And Hogan said he'll put up his belt this time. They're not going to pull a fast one on us. And later that night, Piper and Hogan had a confrontation where Piper tried to just leave, but Hogan insulted Piper in front of his son, Colt. And after helping his son out of the ring, Piper stood up to Hogan and accepted the challenge for the match at Super Brawl. So we got Outsiders and Luger and Giant, and we got Hogan and Piper, too. But before that is WrestleMania 15. And this took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, ironically enough. First Union Center. And features Rock and Stone Cold for the WWF title.
The first round? It's going to be a good one.
Yep. And this could be traced back to approximately a year when Austin won the 98 Royal Rumble. McMahon made it clear he was not happy with Austin's cursing, beer drinking, and don't give a fuck attitude. He wants more of a company man. And he wants him to act like it when he win the WWF championship. And this is when he wrestled Shawn Michaels. But when he did, he didn't change. So McMahon set on a 6-month-long quest to dethrone Austin as champion, which McMahon eventually succeeded when he had a handicap match between Austin and the Brothers of Destruction. And the stipulation was that Kane and Undertaker couldn't pin each other. But because
was
both
that
of
when
them,
Kane won it for one night?
No, because this is when they both pinned Austin at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And the belt was vacated, and Undertaker and Kane ended up fighting again. And yeah, so that didn't work out. And then there was a tournament scheduled for Survivor Series, and turned out The Rock, not Mankind, was McMahon's choice for the winner. I don't know if that was the I Quit match or not. Well, Austin, he lost in a match.
I think that was at the Rumble.
Was it Rumble?
I think so.
Austin lost a match when Shane McMahon refused to count as when he was a special guest referee. So yeah, that set up a Rock and Stone Cold via McMahon. This is also the $100,000 bounty when Austin stunned everybody. I think McMahon won he ended up winning the Royal Rumble.
Mm.
He made Austin number 1. He made himself last, but he pissed off Shawn Michaels, who was the commissioner. So Shawn made him number 2.
Okay.
But yep, that's our main event. We also have Undertaker versus Big Boss Man in a Hell in the Cell match. It's the Mania debut of Hell in the Cell. And we have Shane McMahon versus X-Pac for the European Championship. We have Butterbean annihilating Bart Gunn for the Brawl for All finale. And there's Billy Gunn versus Al Snow versus Bob Holly for the Hardcore title.
Oh, that's a good one.
It might be. But that is next week.
Should be some entertaining stuff.
I think so.
As for us, we got a little bit of the news before we get out of here. And really, the one piece of news I want to cover has to do with AEW versus WWE.
Okay.
Because it's becoming so out of control. it's becoming so out of control. It's just getting funny. So we already talked about it. CM Punk, he was on the Ariel Hawani podcast, MMA Hour, which also had wrestlers on it. And they had a 2-hour conversation. So I'm not even going to try to, do that. You want to go watch it, go watch the whole thing. But the one thing that stuck out, well, a couple of things that stuck out. Number one, Punk talked about the Jack Perry incident. He basically said that that whole real glass thing, Jack Perry wanted to use glass. The producers and stuff backstage and management backstage, they were telling him no. And
Multiple
then,
people told him no.
yeah, multiple people told him no. Finally, they went and got Punk to come tell him.
After they asked him, because he was cursing at them.
Yeah.
So their only recourse was then to go to Punk, a talent, presumably on a lower rung than they are. Like, I would think a producer would have more weight than talent, but that's just me.
Yeah. Now Punk did say he had some kind of like management type contract as well as talent contract. So he had like 2 contracts. So I don't know, but from the way he painted it, he was running both. Or he was running Collision pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah, they went and got Punk. Punk tells him, "Look, if you want to do it, go to Dynamite and do it. But that doesn't. We don't do that here. And also, it's dangerous." So
And also, if you bring a rental car with a broken glass or a broken windshield, the rental car companies aren't going to rent to the wrestlers anymore.
Yeah, that too.
Which makes sense.
So yeah, Perry, he went out there and did it anyway. Punk tried to go to Tony Khan and say, "Look, you need to handle that, and if you don't, I will, and you won't like the way I handle it."
And Tony said, "Well, what do you want me to do?"
Yeah, Tony says, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" "I don't know, be the boss."
Yeah.
Like, you're the boss, by the way. Like, you're asking me what should I do? Like, be the fucking boss. That's what you need to do.
Right.
So Tony Khan didn't do anything, so Punk had to handle it. He said he didn't throw any punches. He just choked him out a little bit. So there's that. Now, I want you to remember that, because as this is going, as we get into this whole thing, that's going to be an important part of the new information that's out. So we get
the
that
Punk interview, or what specifically?
that whole scenario.
Okay.
It's going to be important later.
All right.
Because this just happened. This just came out. So Punk said that. And then he said that the part that got everybody like so far out of line was him saying that AEW is not a real business because they're
They're not interested in making money and selling tickets.
Right. They're interested in putting on. Oh, then Hawani, he follows him up and he says, "Well, if that's not what they're trying to do, then what are they doing?" He said, "I don't know, putting on good matches." And later on, he said it even further. He said, "If you're more interested in putting on 5-star matches for some goof in front of arenas that are quarter fill, instead of making money, then we're not in the same business." So that's what got everybody upset. Uh, you had all these AEW wrestlers come out. AEW, thank you, AEW. I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for AEW. Yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
All because he said it wasn't a business. Oh, and Hawani asked him, "Well, do you think they'll still be around, like, in a year or so?" And Punk said they'll be around as long as
Tony wants to
Tony
keep
Khan wants to
spending.
pump money into it,
Yep.
because they're not going to make money. He's only going to have to keep putting money into it. So, yeah, that started that fire. All the AEW wrestlers, they started coming out in support of AEW.
Of course.
Fine. Then we get to the little media thing. Was Raw after? Sorry, I'm trying to think of the chronological order here. I think Raw was after it, and you said it. You said it in our Raw portion of the review. CM Punk. I'm sorry, Roman Reigns. He said Cody Rhodes was off doing something else, doing
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of nothing. So that was another dig.
Yeah, yeah. So the interview was before Raw.
Yeah. So that was before Raw, and then yeah, Roman said that, and then we fast forward to like WWE. They were doing. Oh no, sorry. And then AEW on Dynamite, they had Edge. They had Edge go out and cut this promo to begin the show, and he was saying how much he loves AEW, and AEW, gives the industry a chance. I
He loves
love this
WWE
place,
too.
and he said, "This is," and he looked dead into the camera. "This is where the best wrestle."
Mm.
So that's pretty much their tagline of "This is where the best wrestle."
You notice how none of them ever said Punk was wrong?
Yeah, all they've done is double down on they're just the best wrestlers.
Yeah.
Well, that's his
Oh,
point.
that's a great place.
That is his point.
Mm.
Is you just care about the 5-star rating from some goof. Uh, so yeah, Edge, he goes out and cuts that awkward ass promo, and it's only awkward. He's a good promo. It's just the fact that, one, he just got there, and two, I mean, it's
You know what it
Edge.
is. It is what it is. You know what he's doing. Like there's no he's not going out of there. He didn't volunteer. Tony, I really got to say some things tonight.
Yeah, but it was like him of all people, the one that just got there.
Yeah. Well, should have
It's
had
like,
Mercedes do it.
well, that wouldn't have worked either. Like, I don't know. You gotta have someone that's been there a while.
No,
Probably.
no, no. Mercedes can do it. She can go, Wooster. I love AEW. Boss, boss, boss. CEO.
I want them to pay me more.
Yeah. We're
Uh,
global.
but yeah, they had Edge go out there and do that, and then we get to WWE. So the Pat McAfee show. They were at the WWE World, and they had interviews from people like Rhea Ripley, Triple H. Uh, yeah, those are the two we're gonna we're gonna talk about really. So during the Triple H interview, he was talking of Triple H was talking about this being the NFL, that being the WWE, and he was talking about, oh, you could play well in college, but that doesn't mean anything when you come to the big leagues. Shot number one. And then shot number two, he was talking about uh Michael Cole asked him, because he was doing co-host. He asked him, hey, uh what's the difference between like now and then, like in the Attitude Era? And Triple H talked about how back in the Attitude Era there was another company that was kicking their ass, and they were pretty much fighting for their life. He told a story about how they were fighting for their life. There was a and I forgot to go watch this. I need to go watch it. But there was a match between Goldberg and the Giant, and the Giant comes out smoking a cigarette, puts it out on the steps, and then it's like a 45-second match.
I remember
As
that.
a, as opposed to him, I need to find that. That sounds like some good television.
Yeah.
As opposed to like him and Austin wrestling a 45-minute match because they were fighting for their life. So that's the difference between back then and now. Now they're not competing with anybody. They're only competing with themselves.
Ooh. It's true though.
Yeah. Another dig over at the Dubs.
Well, think about it. Sasha Banks was like the biggest free agent, right? She signs with AEW. She's immediately devalued. Meanwhile, Jade Cargill, their TNT champion, is now teaming with Naomi in a
Main
prominent
eventing
spot.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. She ain't main eventing, but she's there.
Oh, you get it.
So I don't know.
Yeah, just look at the
I think there's
look
a
at the
clear winner.
difference. Um, yeah, it's just such a big difference. And he even talked about that part of it. He was like, um, if you're one of the talent, I think he was directing this at like a Will Osprey. So golly, I know how to say his name. I promise. It's Will Osprey. Um, but he's like, if you're one of those talents who've like been trying to make yourself known, and then you finally get the moment to get called up to the big leagues, and you want to talk about not having a hard work schedule, or as strenuous of a work schedule, then you know what, you're not for us anyway.
Good for him.
So yeah, but he didn't say a name, but yeah, you can only say this is probably either Osprey or Sasha.
Yeah. Well,
um
Sasha clearly overestimated her value.
well, she got paid.
I mean, yeah, good for her. I mean, I don't begrudge her from getting as much money as she can. I'd do the same. But I don't know if she's going to be able to do it again.
Yeah, she might not get that big WWE contract on
So
the
she
other
better
side of this.
save.
Um, so yeah, we had that, and then from the Rhea Ripley part of it, she was on the show a little bit later. This still be on the Pat McAfee show, and they were talking to. He was talking about Dom. Pat McAfee was, and he said, "Why don't you get rid of that Dom guy? I mean, just think about it. If you got rid of him, he'd have to. He wouldn't even be with the company. He'd have to go over to that other company and wrestle in front of 600 people."
Hmm. So they were
So
just
yeah,
shitting on him all weekend, huh?
yeah, they're sitting on that. And I don't know if you picked up on it. They've started to do this thing on TV where they're talking about like TV sellouts, whatever the hell that even means. the 13th consecutive television sellout. Like, are you saying? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
sounds like a weird thing to be saying.
I usually don't pay attention to the commentary
Yeah,
because they're awful.
that's just the newest thing they're shilling. They're just trying to say, oh, because you got a stadium, you got your show's full of like 600 people, and we're selling out over here every night.
I mean,
So yeah,
it's true.
it is true.
Like all the big names that they got, they devalued. Like Daniel Bryan, I can't even remember if is he retired yet?
He's not retired.
Okay.
He's
But
wrestling
Edge and
his
Christian
dream matches still.
devalued. They have Edge being a cheerleader for no reason. They devalued MJF. They had something with Swerve Strickland, it sounded like, but there you go. Sasha,
Well, this all leads us
Paige,
to
Okada, all to what?
I said this all leads us to the rebuttal,
Oh, okay.
or AEW's
Oh, okay.
AEW's coming back.
It's going to be scathing.
Well, they haven't done it yet. They haven't said it yet.
Oh.
So apparently, this breaking news as of tonight, they're going to have the Young Bucks, that is Matt and Nick Jackson, on live television. They are going to show the Wembley footage. They're going to
They're
show it
desperate. They're desperate.
on live TV. They're going to show it happen.
They're desperate.
It's like, you want to talk shit? How about this? We're just going to show you the footage.
You know it's going to... assuming that it's not heavily edited.
Yeah. They're going to, cut it to make Punk look bad, or...
Who knows?
That's what I was saying at the beginning. Punk said there was no punches thrown. He just choked someone. I was like, well, I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Because they are going to show it.
Can they do that, though? Or
on TV.
Now, if they're in a legal battle, I don't understand how that works. And with the NDAs and shit, yeah, there's something to this. I think they're open to
it's either what I'm half expecting is it's going to be like how like the cop shows, they do like the dramatizations.
Okay, yeah.
So it's either going to be that, or it's going to be edited to a point where it's just making Punk look bad or something. As you see, Jack Perry was just sitting there eating his Cheerios, and this guy comes and chokes him out.
Some fat guy with drawn on tattoos.
Yeah.
Slick back hair. Come here, bitch.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
This just reeks of desperation.
Well, it's like, what? I get you're trying to fight back, but why are you still... Punk said that almost now a week ago. Why are you still butthurt about it? And you've said stuff back. You said Edge out. It wasn't good enough?
Apparently not.
You weren't happy enough with that? Because
that's fine.
Well, I guess because, the crowd didn't... It's like, why Edge of all people? Okay, that wasn't good. We'll try this instead.
Yeah. Well, they'll do this and it'll fail just like everything else they've done. And we'll go on with our lives.
Well, apparently, they've already... the Meltsies have already said this is not like clickbait or anything. They're actually going to show the footage.
Well, Meltzer said it.
I don't know how they know this, but maybe I guess. Wait a minute. This all but confirms then who tells him his information.
He's all but confirmed that
one of three
ages ago.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they named their move after him. Come on.
Yeah.
and he blatantly like defends them when he knows it's shit.
Well, see, yeah, I thought he was off the dick riding, but I guess he's back on it.
Oh, is he? I don't know what he is. I know that they were very critical of Punk. Not very critical. I thought Brian was more critical than Dave. But whatever. That's their show.
Yeah, it will be fun to see how that all plays out. I'm
Yeah.
just interested in that for that reason. See how it all plays out.
I can't wait to listen about it because I ain't gonna watch it.
Well, I'm not gonna watch it either. I'm gonna
And
watch Twitter, of course.
and it's already backfired, Bucks.
I mean, if I didn't have a life, I would watch it. But if I wasn't a dweeb, geek, virgin, I'd watch it.
I want to watch AEW for it.
Yeah. But that's all the news we have for tonight. Again, we'll see where that goes. I believe we'll be back tomorrow night because we have a night 2 of WrestleMania. That one will be a watch along, I believe. We'll confirm that later. Well, there's only one person here, so
Yeah.
And that might be me. So there you go.
There you go.
Actually, it's not me because it's on Twitch. Yeah. Abort. Just kidding. But if you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all the social medias. And is there anything else?
Have a good night.
And until tomorrow, top guys.